Next up, please welcome senior Jessica Lyles. A Rogers native, Jessica is joined today by her father, Todd. After cheering for a pair of seasons in the blue and gold, Jessica plans to graduate and begin working toward a Master's of Education in Elementary Education and will begin applying for long-term substitution positions. Ladies and gentlemen, Jessica Lyles. Now lastly, please welcome senior Annika Stanley. Hailing from Dallas, Annika is joined by her parents, Joe and Brenda, her sister Pam, and brother-in-law, Jason Lapie. After captaining the cheer squad for 3 of the last 4 seasons, the psychology major and double minor in chemistry and biology will begin medical school in New Mexico this summer and one day hopes to be a pediatrician or psychiatrist. Ladies and gentlemen, Annika Stanley. And now let's turn our attention to the women's basketball team, starting with a pair of managers. Please welcome Kylie Harris. Kylie is escorted by her 2 sons, Graham and Brantley. Kylie will graduate in May with a degree in kinesiology. She plans on attending graduate school and starting a career in coaching. Coach Soderquist says, Kylie has stepped in this year and has truly become a part of our family. Thank you so much for all you have done this season for JBU women's basketball. Ladies and gentlemen, manager Kylie Harris. Next, please welcome manager Morgan Jones. Morgan is escorted by parents Dan and Tiff Jones. Majoring in biology with a minor in chemistry, leadership studies, and intercultural studies, Morgan will graduate this May and plans on attending medical school to become an internal medicine doctor. Coach Soderquist says Morgan will be one of the hardest managers to ever replace. She has served this team for the last 4 years and does so much for the coaching staff and team. Thank you, Morgan, for all you have done. Ladies and gentlemen, manager Morgan Jones. Now let's meet today's women's basketball seniors. First up is senior Jordan Martin. Jordan, a native of Bentonville, is escorted by her parents Jerry and Vicki Martin. In May, Jordan will graduate with a degree in kinesiology, minoring in family and human services. After graduation, Jordan plans on beginning her graduate studies at the University of Arkansas in occupational therapy. Coach Soderquist says, Jordan, we are so proud of the player and person you are. You have worked so hard. Thank you for your dedication. Ladies and gentlemen, Jordan Martin. Next is senior KJ Rowe. Hailing from Lincoln, Nebraska, KJ is escorted by her parents Rick and Linda Rowe. A communication major, KJ will graduate this May with an emphasis in digital journalism and Spanish with a minor in intercultural studies. After graduation, KJ plans to work with a media missions organization in Malaga, Spain. Coach Soderquist said, KJ, thank you for your dedication to your teammates and the program for the past 4 years. We wish you all the best. Ladies and gentlemen, KJ Rowe. Next up is senior Allie Teague. From Berryville, Allie is escorted by her parents, Jeff and Amanda Teague. Majoring in accounting and minoring in professional accounting, Allie will graduate this May. Post-graduation, Allie will be working for the New Leaf Publishing Group and hopes to continue doing work for the Lord. Coach Soderquist said, Allie, we will miss your hustle and flying all around the court. You have worked so hard with such a great attitude. Thank you so much for the player and leader that you are. Ladies and gentlemen, Allie Teague. Finally, please welcome senior Sarah Williams. Sarah, a native of McKinney, Texas, is escorted by her parents, Dr. Steve and Karen Williams, and her sister, brother-in-law, and nephew, Aaron, Jeff, and Elijah Smith. Sarah is a nursing major and will graduate next May. After graduation, Sarah plans on returning home to Dallas to begin working as a nurse and, Lord willing, pursuing a graduate degree as a nurse practitioner. Coach Soderquist says, Sarah, your work ethic and effort will be missed. You worked so hard as a player and improved your game every year. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Sarah Williams. Now, head men's basketball coach Jason Beshta will introduce today's 3 men's basketball seniors.
It's easy to come up with words that appropriately describe this year's seniors, such as hardworking, determined, joyful, consistent, servants, and winners. In the end, when you leave somewhere or finish something, you want to have made your mark and left it in a better place than when you started. There's no question that JBU basketball is in a better place as a result of these 3 seniors. From what they've accomplished on the court, to the level of excellence in the classroom, to the standards they set and upheld that make up the culture of our program, even to the lasting friendships they've made on the team and around campus, even the way they've carried themselves around my family as my kids have grown up with these guys, receiving countless hugs and pretended to be these guys while playing Nerf basketball in their room at home. These guys have excelled at things that truly matter, things that we believe are without a doubt worth it. Kyrie Hutchins. Kyrie is escorted by his dad, Norman, stepmom, Charity, brothers, Javon and Quentin, and his Coach, come on. Kyrie's majoring in business management and plans on finishing his degree next year and then getting started with his future in business. Kyrie said his favorite memories at JBU include waking up at 6 a.m. for weights with Coach Kisner during the preseason, being in overtime for most of our games this season, and the reactions from his teammates when he does 3-point celebrations. Kyrie is proud that he was able to come to JBU to finish out his career while being with the right people who've become family to him. Although only having the privilege of coaching Kyrie for 1 year, he's been one of the more fun players I've ever coached. Kyrie brings so much energy to the team. He's typically smiling, even if I'm getting on him about something, and he makes the game fun. He's fearless and has taken and made countless big shots for us this year. The joyful way that he plays is evident to anyone who watches him. It's hard for me not to smile in games when he celebrates after he makes a big shot or pass. Those times when his joy radiates from him. I'm thankful for the opportunity to coach him this year, and I can't wait to see what he does after this. Quentin Bailey. Quentin is escorted by his host family here at JBU, Brian and Christy Burnett and their kids Luke and Ella, and his girlfriend Taylor. And he wants to give a shout out to his family back home in New Zealand who can't be here today but are watching. His mom Leanne, dad Brian, brother Simon, Nana Barbara, and Papa Athel. Quentin is majoring in kinesiology, and after graduating this spring, plans on heading home to further his studies to be a physical therapist and help on the family farm. Quentin said his favorite memories at JBU include earning a trip to the national tournament last year, making the all-tournament team at the conference tournament, getting some of his teammates to wear short rugby shorts in the weight room with him, and last season when Rokas slipped and fell during a game, Jake tried to help him up and then he slipped, and then Quentin finally came over to try and help and he slipped too. Quentin is as tough as they come. He's an everyday guy who sets the standard each day for how hard to work in the pursuit of excellence. Q has proven himself dependable, someone we can count on both on and off the court. It can be difficult for me to get on him about anything because he sets standards for himself that are at least as high or higher than mine can ever be. He's developed into more and more of a leader over these last 2 years and served us faithfully as a captain this year. I wish that I could have more than 2 years to coach Q. His relentless work ethic, focus, and discipline will help him to achieve greatness in whatever he does, whether that be in physical therapy or with the cows on the farm. And lastly, Dwayne Hart. Dwayne is escorted by his host family here at JBU, Christy and Damon Newsom, and their granddaughter Elise, as well as some of his biggest fans from these last 5 years, my kids. Dwayne's majoring in construction management, and after graduating in May, he plans on pursuing a career in this field. Dwayne said his favorite memories and greatest accomplishments at JBU include getting to follow in the footsteps of his sister and earning a college degree, traveling the states with the team for games and tournaments, practicing in the street in Florida last year to do our game day scout, Luke, and getting to know and form relationships with his teammates, coaches, and their families, and he loves kids. I've had the privilege and joy of getting to know and to coach Dwayne for 5 years. His growth during his time here, from the skinny kid I picked up at the airport to the man he has become with the infectious smile and warm personality. Dwayne has been plagued by injuries during his career here, but through it all, he has been an unbelievable teammate, a selfless servant, and an encouraging and faithful friend. Dwayne has that rare ability to bring a smile to anyone's face. He's typically seen with a smile himself, often laughing or singing, and even when injured has found ways to make himself invaluable to the team and our program. I can't tell you how many times my kids have seen him and run to him with joy, wanting a big hug. That means a lot to a parent, and Dwayne has and does mean a lot to me. I'm thankful for him and excited to watch him continue to grow after he leaves JBU.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of applause again for all of our JBU seniors.
To the second letter. Oh yeah. Let me take it there. Please brag on what you did. How you smash your first week sales. And it like your numbers make vaccines that heal weak cells. You brag when your money go somewhere besides yourself. Oh yeah. Let's get it. I'm going with our voice. Where they got them bullets flying like it's PowerPoint. And then I'm going down a hot go. Where your chances of making it out of flock go. I'm with the Southside kids that are reach age. And then head for the keys like spring break. Cause I believe that we intervene when the needs great. And go and beat change. Let me talk about it. I get it poppin'. You probably got a problem. Before they can stop me, gotta cut my power like I'm Amish. Hold the torch up high in the dick dog. The dream works no matter how bad the pics are. Cause I see how bad the globe is. But they don't know how bad our hope is. They don't know how bad we want this. It ain't where we at, more, it's where we going. Young dudes, their success is up to you, but that's hard when you got 12 years of whack schools. So it's rap or it's packs. Either way, you get them bars. When they give up, we get charged. What's the system to our God? We don't fight for the W, but we fight from the W. Never said it wouldn't be trouble, but he bring trouble to whatever troubles you. A struggle through multiple valuable things that are wonderful. We suffer to hustle through what the truth. He wants to humble you, take you and break you and make you to another dude. Take away any other truth. He's the one that can cover you, alright? Wait on it. Tomorrow we live. He making all things new. Making all things new. To the paralytic, he gon' dance. Tell breast cancer that she won't win. Tell racism that he gon' end. What he doesn't heal now, homie, he gon' den. Let's go! Let me take it, yeah. Let me take it, yeah.
They wish and they wish and they wish and they wish and they wishing on me. Yeah. I've been moving calm, don't start no trouble with me. Trying to keep it peaceful is a struggle for me. Don't pull up at 6 a.m. to cuddle with me. You know how I like it when you loving on me. I don't wanna die for them to miss me. Yes, I see the things that they wishing on me. Hope I got some brothers that outlive me. They gon' tell the story was different with me. God's plan, God's plan. I hold back, sometimes I won't, yeah. I feel good, sometimes I don't, hey, no. I finesse down Western Road, hey, next. Might go down to G.O.D., yeah, wait. I go hard on Southside G, yeah, wait. I make sure that Northside eat. And still, bad things. It's a lot of bad things that they wish and they wish and they wish and they wish and they wishing on me. Bad things. It's a lot of bad things that they wish and they wish and they wish and they wish and they wishing on me. Yeah. Hey, hey. She say, do you love me? I tell her only partly. I only love my bed and my mom, I'm sorry. 50 dub, I even got it tatted on me. 81, they'll bring the crashers to the party. And you know me, turn the 02 into the 03, dawg. Without 40 Ollie, there be no me. Imagine if I never met the broskies. God's plan, God's plan. I can't do this on my own, hey, no, hey. Someone watching it close, yup, close. I've been me since Scarlet Road, hey, Might go down as G.O.D., yeah, wait. I go hard on Southside G, hey, wait. I make sure that Northside eat, yeah. And still, bad things. It's a lot of bad things that they wishing and wishing and wishing and wishing they wishing on me. Yeah. Yeah. Bad things. It's a lot of bad things that they wish and they wish and they wish and they wish and they wishing on me. Yeah.
Hey Panini, don't you be a meanie. Thought you wanted me to go, why you tryna keep me teeny? It's a dreamy, wished it on a genie. I got fans finally, ain't you wanting them to see me? I thought you want this for my life, for my life. Said you wanted to see me thrive. You lied, just say to me what you want from me. Just say to me what you want from me. Hey Panini, don't you be a meanie. Thought you wanted me to go, why you tryna keep me clean? Now they with me, no more always dreaming. No, you used to love me, so what happened? What's the meaning? Now I thought you want this for my life, for my life. Said you wanted to see me thrive. You lied.
pandemic stricken. Handle business, not a joke, yeah. Manners missing. Travel different, no control, yeah. Time to listen. Time to zip it, keep it close. My description, highly gifted, take some notes, yeah. Lack of interest, why'd you visit? Hit the road, yeah. Kinda twisted, so keep your distance, be a ghost. Yeah, see, I'm invented, but quite the menace. You ain't know? Well, then I'm offended. Let's jog your memories, here we go, yeah. I went from nobody to kind of famous. Hide my plaques inside the closet, I just can't explain it. My wife, she tells me that she's proud and thinks that I should hang them. But I just leave them on the ground right next to my self-hatred. Yeah, yeah, mental health, where's my mental health? Diagnosed with OCD, what does that mean? We'll gather round. That means I obsessively obsess on things I think about. That means I might take a normal thought and think it's so profound. Ruminating, fill balloons of
Brown University in Siloam Springs, Arkansas. Sooner Athletic Conference basketball action between the number 9 John Brown Golden Eagles and the Wayland Baptist Pioneers. JBU in at 24-3 overall, 15-2 in conference play. Wayland Baptist 18-9 overall. They are 10-7 in Sooner Athletic play. I'm Carter Hinson alongside Ori Phillips. And Ori, one of the best players in the conference on this Wayland Baptist team in J.J. Culver. How will JBU stop him this afternoon?
You got to have somebody on him that you feel is capable. I think Ira Perrier, he's the big impact player here to watch for JBU. He's their top guy defensively. James Beckham, he had some really good reps the other day as well against Panhandle State, but Ira Perrier, he has to play a good game. Or if they put somebody else on Culver, I'm thinking it'll be Perrier, but I mean, J.J. Culver, he's unstoppable. He put up 100 points on a team earlier this year in their non-conference slate. Leading scorer in the conference, 23.7 points per game. But Coach Besh has also been really adamant about this. You do not want to undersell the supporting cast around him. I mean, he's got plenty of guys around him. Jack Nobles as well, averaging almost 15 a game. You got several as well, averaging 9, 8, and 7. So a very capable offensive unit, averaging over 80 a game. And they're on a bit of a hot streak as well. They've won up their last 4, if I'm not mistaken. And they're on the NAIA tournament bubble, so they're going to come in fired up. They're going to come in here ready to go and give John Brown that first home loss.
Granted, it has been a little bit of an easier slate for them these last 4 games. They played Bacone, Oklahoma Panhandle State, had a very good win over Langston, a win over Central Christian, who the upset-minded Central Christian, they've pulled off a few big wins. But we're going to hear a little bit from Coach Jason Beshta. Zach Wold was able to talk to him pregame. Let's roll that one and see what Jason Beshta had to say.
I'm here with Coach Beshta. Coach, how do you feel the team has regressed since you last played Wayland?
I think we've really progressed since then. That was a great game for us at their place, and it was such a great defensive game by both teams. I expect to see something like that again today, but, the further you get away from the last game you've played, the hope is that your team's gotten better, and I think we've continued to progress, and we're trending upward right now.
And so in this game, you expect it to be more on the defensive side of the game?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're a team that's known as being a really tough defensive team. I certainly know that they have been as well, I think in our own ways. It's one of those, you can't give up the easy baskets in transition because it's going to be really hard to score in the half court, I think, on either team.
And who are you looking to step up during this game today?
It's not just simply like Luke and Denzier, who've been really good for us this year. We expect, Quentin needs to be solid inside around the basket. I think it's more so even just the supporting cast of everybody, and that's been the great thing for this team is so many guys capable of stepping in there and stepping up. And I think based on how they guard us, we're going to have some guys that have been role players for us with an opportunity to get some open looks and some things tonight, and they got to take advantage and knock them down.
All right, good luck tonight, Coach.
Thank you.
Now, welcome back into Bill George. We're here from Coach Jason Beshta there. And Ori, before we head down courtside, any final thoughts before this game starts?
I mean, this is either going to be a firefight or it's going to be a defensive battle. I'm interested to see what happens with J.J. Culver. All eyes will be on him. Can these Golden Eagles stop him? If they do, they're going to probably go in and get another win here before a tough schedule next week. If J.J. Culver goes off, he puts up 20, 30. Wayland could very well pull the upset.
And we will see exactly how it shakes out here in just a few minutes. We're going to send you down courtside for a few pregame festivities here on JBUathletics.com.
Good afternoon, basketball fans. Welcome to Bill George Arena on the campus of John Brown University in Siloam Springs, Arkansas for today's Sooner Athletic Conference basketball action featuring the visiting Pioneers of Wayland Baptist University and your 9th-ranked John Brown Golden Eagles. JBU, the Sooner Athletic Conference, and the NAIA embrace the 5 core values of the Champions of Character Initiative, which are respect, responsibility, integrity, servant leadership, and sportsmanship. Please join with us to create a positive environment for everyone to enjoy. Before we meet the starting lineups, we invite you to please stand if you are able, and gentlemen, please remove your caps as we begin today's event with the invocation. Led by Vice President of Student Development, Dr. Steve Beers. Then we ask that you remain standing as we honor America as JBU senior Sarah Williams performs our national anthem.
Please pray with me. Father, we are so grateful that we're here in this country, in Arkansas, at John Brown University. Lord, we thank you for all the blessings that you've given us. Lord, we thank you for families and the weekend that we're celebrating families and the way that they support each other. We just give you all the praise. In Christ's name we pray, amen.
Oh, see, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. And oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave, and o'er the lands of the free and the home of the brave.
And now it's time for the starting lineups. First, for our visitors from Plainview, Texas. At guard, a 6'2 junior from Amarillo, Texas, number 1, Trey Fillmore. At guard, a 6'2 senior from Arlington, Texas, number 2, CJ Obenwa. At guard, a 6'5 senior from Lubbock, Texas, number 10, JJ Culver. At forward, a 6'6 senior from Trophy Club, Texas, number 11, Jack Nobles. And at forward, a 6'8 junior from Waco, Texas, number 40, Jibrail Washington. Head coach for the Pioneers is Ty Harrelson. He's assisted by Landon Hewley, Adrian Davis, and Kyler Shula. Now get on your feet. It's game time in Bill George Arena, and these are your John Brown Golden Eagles. At guard, a 5'11 senior from Santa Cruz, California, number 11, Kyrie Hutchings. At guard, a 6'3 sophomore from Plano, Texas, number 22, Luke Harper. At guard, a 6'3 sophomore from Brighton, England, number 24, Ira Perrier. At forward, a 6'7 senior from Stratford, New Zealand, number 32, Quentin Bailey. And at forward, a 6'8 senior from Falmouth, Jamaica, number 33, Dwayne Hart. Head coach for the Golden Eagles is Jason Beshta. He's assisted by Tim Kisner. Your officials today are Rob Wolf, Kenneth Holdman, and Andy Mullane.
For
Welcome back into Bill George Arena here on the campus of John Brown University in Siloam Springs, Arkansas. Sooner Athletic Conference play between the Wayland Baptist Pioneers and the John Brown Golden Eagles. I'm Carter Hinson alongside Ori Phillips. And Ori, just what I wanted to happen, we get a Dwayne Hart start here on Senior Day.
Absolutely a great story. As Coach Besha said during the Senior Day festivities, Hart, he's a guy who's been very plagued by injuries this season and throughout his JBU career, but it's great to see him. Every Golden Eagle student here is happy to see him go in and get the start, and hope he does well today.
Wayland Baptist, they're feeling it over there on their bench. All eyes on number 10, Mr. J.J. Culver, one of the best players in this conference. His average a little bit, his point total a little bit overblown due to that 100-point game, but regardless,
he's still one of the best, one of the top scorers, and he gets first crack at things.
Yeah, they win the tip, and of course, as we thought, it's Ira Perrier. Swatted away!
Oh my goodness!
It's Dwayne Hart! Oh my goodness!
And that is how you get the crowd fired up. J.J. Culver, the top guy, goes in, gets it swatted away. Dwayne Hart.
What a play by the man from Jamaica.
First play of the season for him.
Oh my goodness.
What a play.
Locked down Mr. 100. He might not try that again. There's Nobles. He's their other leading scorer, a big body on the inside. There's Culver up at the top of the key. 3 to shoot. Nobles, long jumper, back iron, no good. Rebounded by Luke Harper. Throws the defender to the floor. They got a little bit tied up there. Up ahead to Harper. Quentin Bailey near side. Dwayne Hart comes to set a pick. He does. He rolls out of it. Harper to the left side. Ira Perrier. Ira Perrier is going to be a really important player today. It's Kyrie Hutchins. Feeds that one in. Quentin Bailey backing down Jack Noble. 7 to shoot. Down to 5. Gets to the Dwayne Hart. Somehow or another ends up in the hands of Wayland Baptist. They don't even get a shot off. They push it up ahead. J.J. Culver. J.J. takes one step in. He buries it this time. 3-0 Wayland Baptist.
And Wayland, they just got down the floor so quickly there in transition. JBU wasn't able to match. Culver there for the easy three-pointer.
JBU a little bit out of rhythm here. They get it to Quentin Bailey.
And this is a team, they've had a lot of slow starts these last couple weeks. They had one early against Panhandle. Took a while for them to get a lead up. It looks like we're going to see double-double Dins now come in for the first time.
Washington will get tagged on the foul, and Dwayne Hart will take a seat. Good to see Dwayne get some minutes, and more importantly, good to see Dwayne make one of the best defensive plays of the year. Here's the replay.
See ya.
See you later from Dwayne Hart. Double-double Dins gets the ball. Hands it off to Harper. Harper, one-handed. He is fouled.
My goodness, what a play there, Dwayne Hart. That's one he can take with him. Past JBU, that's one he can carry there. First play of the season, go down and just swat away probably the best shooter in the entire conference. Harper, the team's best free throw shooter, shooting 88.2% going into today. Only missed 11 this season of his 93.
He drops the second. 3-2 Wayland Baptist.
There's Culver. You got Perrier covering him. No surprises there.
Noble at the top. On the left hand, poked out by Luke Harper. It hits out off of a Golden Eagle player who will stay with Wayland Baptist.
It's crucial they don't get it to Culver off the inbound and give him a nice look here.
I have to assume JJ's going to play most of the game. He averages over or around 35. He gets it. Step back, 3, no good. Rebounded by Ira Perrier. And he will take a bulk of the shots. He plays a bulk of the minutes. Kyrie Hutchins, left hand, he floats it up. Cannot get it to fall. Rebounded by Denzier Carnes after it was tipped by Quentin Bailey. No one covers Denzier Carnes. His 3 is off the mark. That's rebounded by Fillmore. Culver in transition. It's a lot of ISOs by this Wayland team. Oh, definite charge there. Denzier Carnes had his feet set. Obenwald runs over him. It's JBU basketball just over 2 minutes in.
That's 3 personal fouls there, 3 team fouls, I should say, for Wayland in the first 2 minutes of the game. John Brown, not a team you want to send to the free throw line, but they're skating on some thin ice early.
Here's the replay. Yep, good job by Denzier Carnes. Had his feet set. A little bit of pressure from Wayland Baptist. They get it to Denzier Carnes. He'll bring it left to right across the timeline. It's Quentin Bailey. Denzier Carnes again. Bailey backed out. Kyrie Hutchings. Luke Harper threading the needle. And they will tag Luke with the charge. So charges on both ends of the floor. That time it was Fillmore who had his feet set. Just the first team foul on JBU.
Right now, not a very offensive game. Only 5 points between both teams about 2.5 minutes in. Looks like they're going to give Luke Harper a seat, actually. Rokas going in for the first time here. Normally a starter, but with it being senior day, they gave the nod to a couple of seniors here.
Culver on the right hand, pulls up, well guarded by Carnes. They get it to Jack Noble instead. He goes back iron, no good. And if JBU has Jack Noble shooting threes, I think they'll be a little bit happy with that to not have JJ be taking so many. Grabliauskas, right side Kyrie Hutchings. Dropped into Bailey. Bailey driving towards the baseline with the left hand, no good. And they're gonna tag Ira Perrier, who he got a little bit tied up where it was by CJ Obenwall, and it's an over the back on Ira.
Clear call there, stuck his hand over, just trying to go and get the board, but a little too much there. Only the second team foul for John Brown, though.
Culver on the near side. They get him up on a switch. He picks up a screen from Noble. Here comes the double team. They give him some pressure. That'll leave Obenwall open from the corner. Obenwall knocks it down. 6-2. JBU has had a hard time getting started on the offensive end.
And Obenwall not afraid to take the threes. Shot 110 going into this one. You don't want to leave him open like that, give him those looks.
Maybe a game of percentages for the Golden Eagles as that one skirts on out of bounds. But it's almost, maybe you'd rather Obenwall take an open three than JJ take one himself. As they definitely double team JJ Culver, and that left Obenwall wide open in the corner.
This Wayland defense making it hard to drive inside. They got size, and they can match up with JBU a lot of places on the floor. Another missed chance there by the Golden Eagles.
So far, just having a hard time getting going. It's Culver. Noble, near side, it's Fillmore. They got Culver off of a screen away from the ball, top of the key, tried to bank it in, no good. It's rebounded by Bailey. And back left to the right, come the Golden Eagles. There's another foul. This time it'll be on Washington as he and Quentin Bailey were tied up. That's already number 4 on Wayland Baptist. And, or you mentioned they're playing a very tight defense, and so far the referees have kind of not let them get too tight on it. Been a lot of fouls called already.
We'll see how they keep that intensity. John Brown cutting it close there on the inbound.
They get it to Ira Perrier. Gets the defenders off of him. Ira gets a screen. He puts it on the left hand. Oh, what nice pass in on the back cut from Rokas Grabliauskas. They couldn't come down with it, though. And Ira Perrier. 3 from Perrier. It's no good. It's long. Just a lid on the bucket so far for JBU.
That was a nice look, though, for Ira. You like to see him take those shots when he's got the open looks. And John Brown right now just not getting anything going.
Rotate in. Noble muscles his way in. 8-2 John Brown, or 8-2 Wayland, rather.
And Wayland, they have just all the momentum at this point in the game.
They've kept JJ fairly quiet, but JBU just cannot get any points. Here's Grabliauskas. He has it ripped away. It's going to be Culver on the other end. Hutchings, he runs right on over Hutchings, and they call it, ooh, they call the basket. I thought maybe they might get him on the charge there, but rather it's a Culver basket. He gets the +1, 10-2 Wayland Baptist. Here's the replay. Let's see if Kyrie had his feet set there.
See, my first impression was he did. We'll see.
So it looked to me like
let's go back here real quick.
JJ tried to take it one step to the right. That one could have gone either way. I see how they didn't call it now. Kyrie takes a seat.
Culver at the moment has had a pretty good start to this one.
JJ knocks it down.
He's got 6 of their 11 points. John Brown, the only 2 points about 5 minutes into this thing.
Just 2 points. Let's see if JBU can get something going here on the offensive end. They're going to get Nobles on the reach in. I feel like eventually Wayland might have to back down here as JBU very good at the free throw line.
And that may be how John Brown can get back into this thing. They're a great free throw shooting team, 75.6 on the year going in. And that's how they've gotten all their points. They've yet to make a field goal so far, 0 for 5 from the field. Looks like they're going to give Jack Nobles a seat. He's one of their best players offensively and defensively, and he gives them size, can match up with Carnes and Bailey. But with the 9-point advantage, they can afford to give some of their guys a rest. We may see Culver come out if JBU can't get a score here.
Harper with J.J. Culver just all over him. Another thing about J.J. Culver, he stays out of foul trouble pretty regularly. Rojas Krabliaus just took a shot, and there will be another foul on the floor. That is number 6. We're not even 6 minutes into this thing.
John Brown, they're going to be shooting some free throws before too long. And Rokas, that last play, just took a shot. Looks to be okay. That foul, though, they got hit there on Trey Fillmore. That's his second personal. He'll take a seat as a result. Fillmore, another one of those key guys, averaging 9.8 points per game. They don't want to lose into foul trouble, but they have a comfortable lead right now.
Oh, stolen away by Culver, and it hits out off of him. He turns it away, turns it over.
Missed opportunity there, and student section letting him hear about it.
Which he made a great defensive play on that, and then just couldn't hold on to it.
That was a highlight reel in the making. If he had taken it down, that would have probably been one-handed slam city.
J.J. Culver, he almost plays like a rover on defense for Wayland. He floats around and they just let him make plays. Quentin Bailey, Harper. Right side kicked over, Denzier Carnes. On the left side, he floats it up, high off the glass, no good. Almost pull the board down, but it's Culver that gets it instead. Up ahead to Peyton Havens. Havens to Culver, lost his footing for a second, puts the 3 up anyway, back iron, no good. Rebounded by Washington. Wayland will have another shot at this.
Looks like they got James Beckham on Culver. He got the edge last time, getting a nice look against Beckham. Just couldn't get the shot to fall. They don't have a whole lot of time to work with, though.
There's Obenwald. It's Yole. Culver towards the baseline. He puts it up himself and tries to throw it out off of James Beckham. That's a shot clock violation. 11-2 it is. Just 2 points for the Golden Eagles thus far. 13:54 to go here in this half.
Got to get the ball inbounded.
Here comes the press. They get it to Luke Harper. Wayland will back off a little bit.
They've yet to make a field goal right now. Just shots are not sinking for them. All they've got so far is 2 Luke Harper free throws.
Few ball handlers on the floor for JBU. Back cut by Luke Harper. That's team foul number 7. Oh, if nothing else, JBU will get some free throws out of this.
That's on Culver's first, and sends Harper, their best free throw shooter, to the charity stripe. That may be how they can stay in this thing until they can get heated up. And that's been one of their big flaws, is that they've started really slowly these last few weeks. I mean, Langston, they took them to overtime, double overtime as a result of JBU's slow start. Started slow as well against Southwestern Christian about a week ago. Oklahoma Panhandle State was within about 5 or 6 for most of the first half against them. Harper missed the free throw. They needed that one.
Yeah, Luke does not miss very many either. It's Culver being guarded by James Beckham. Lost the footing on it. C.J. Obenwald. Jabril Washington. Left side, it's Culver again on the left hand. He went to battle with Nemanja Obradovic. It's 13-2, Wayland Baptist. Timeout Golden Eagles. Kind of surprised Jason Beshta waited. It's 8 points from Culver. It's an 11-point lead for the Wayland Baptist Pioneers, Ori.
And right now, just not a whole lot in the way of defensive stops for the Golden Eagles. And not much in the way of good looks offensively for them in getting those shots. They're shooting 0 for 6 from the field. Only been able to take 2 shots from deep. And Wayland right now, they're not even shooting that well. They're shooting under 50%, only shooting 2 for 6 from beyond the arc. But they've been able to piece together those defensive stops that gotten guys to the line. J.J. Cole right now, 8 points. He's been as good as advertised early on, and the Golden Eagles having another really, really slow start. And this is one of those teams you don't want to let him have a fast start against. You get ahead early, because Wayland, with the amount of firepower they have offensively, if they can get an early lead, especially with it being by 11, JBU things can get dire really early. We'll see how the JBU Golden Eagles look after this timeout. Again, surprised they didn't take one. a little bit earlier.
The inbound comes to Kyrie Hutchings. It's 13-2, Wayland Baptist Pioneers. If you're joining us in the Plainview area, we appreciate you tuning in here on JBUathletics.com. James Beckham slashes in. Outside to Harper. Or you wonder if we'll even see JJ take a seat in this hat. I kind of doubt we do. They get it to Carnes. And swatted away by Wayland Baptist. That one was, I believe it was Washington, but there were a few. Culver pushing in on Luke Harper, and they will call Harper on the foul.
And Washington, one of their top guys defensively, he gets the starts. He's kind of another Ira Perrier type of player, only averaging 2.2 points this year, but going in 43 blocks, make that 44. Also has 11 steals. One of their top guys defensively in a tough matchup to draw if you're Denzier Carnes or Quentin Bailey.
Inbound comes to Culver, step back, no good. JJ has not just shot the lights out, but he's putting a lot of shots up. 13-2, yet a pick from Nemanja Obradovic. Step back from Kyrie Hutchings, still cannot get it to go. The lid remains on the basket. It's 13-2 Wayland Baptist, and JV cannot let this get ahead of him.
They've gone almost 8 minutes without a field goal. And
Havens' three is good.
Another
16-2 Wayland Baptist.
And the Pioneers just defensively have stopped this Golden Eagle offense.
Beckham slashes in, and he will get caught on the travel there. Another step. Turnover number 5 for the Golden Eagles. Coach Jason Besta says, somebody help me. Get somebody else in there.
Looks like they're bringing in Bailey, Perrier, Stoles. They need a spark. And right now they have their 2 best players, at least in my opinion, on the bench in Carnes and Harper. But even with them in, they haven't hit a field goal. They're 0 for 8. We're 8 minutes into this ball game.
MJ Culver, he's a special player. He's guarded by Perrier. He slashes in, feeds that one out to Obenwald. Obenwald step back, that's a long 2. It does not fall, it's rebounded by Grabliauskas. Ira Perrier forced the issue and made JJ give that one up. It's Grabliauskas at the top of the key. Kick down, Stoles, pump fake, puts it on the left hand, and that'll be a charge on Nate Stoles. Everything so far coming up Wayland Baptist.
Right now, all John Brown can do is get some defensive stops, then just focus when they go back on offense, get some good looks. They're not pulling JJ Culver yet. They want to get as good of a lead as possible. They're keeping Perrier on him.
In 8 minutes and 30 seconds, the John Brown Golden Eagles are 0 of 8 from the field. Their only 2 points have come from the free throw line. There's Uda on the right hand. He almost loses the handle on it. It's Havens. Handed off to Culver. Ira Perrier altered that shot. He does not get it to fall. Give it to Culver and let him work. That's the offense for Wayland Baptist. Kyrie Hutchings, he feeds it out. Perrier, Grabliauskas, one of the best three-point shooting teams in the country, is over from the field. Grabliauskas, they drop it into Bailey. Cross court, here's Kyrie Hutchings. 3 from Kyrie Hutchings. Finally a field goal for the Golden Eagles. It's 16-5 Wayland Baptist.
It took just over 9 minutes for it to happen, but maybe that's the spark of, or start of some type of spark for John Brown. They need to focus now, get a stop. And they get one.
It's an offensive foul. It's on C.J. Obenwald.
That's the 8th team foul there for Wayland Baptist. That's the only facet of the game so far that they haven't done as good as John Brown on, or that they've done worse than John Brown, I should say.
Here comes a bit of a press. Havens applying some pressure. Across the timeline comes Grabliauskas. He hands it off to Ira Perrier. Here's a cutting Denzier Carnes. JV need Carnes and Harper and Grabliauskas to get involved in this thing. What about down low to Bailey? Bailey puts it on the left hand. There's a foul on the floor, and that will put the man from New Zealand on the free throw line.
Bailey coming in has had some struggles at the charity stripe this year. 38 for 73, 52.1%, but he needs these free throws, and so does his team.
You know, Ori, I think one of my favorite family weekend things is the fact that we have parents sitting in the student section, sitting in the Eagles Nest. They're having some fun. Quinton hits the first. Ori, this will cut it to single digits if he can knock this one down.
Right now, the Golden Eagles have just struggled offensively. Only one field goal made. It was a three-pointer by Kyrie Hutchings, but as you said, they need this free throw.
All right, so points for the Golden Eagles on 2 straight possessions. It's a 5-0 run. If you can call it a run, I'd say, given how the offensive output has been, we can call it a run for this game.
Anything helps.
And still no sign of J.J. Culver sitting down. He knows he's going to have to put some minutes in for this one. So round to Kafisi. Culver. Guarded by Ira Perry. JJ on the right hand. Ooh, that is a tough call on Ira Perrier. JJ was losing his footing. That's number 6 on the team. And the important thing I think you were about to say, but that's 2 on Ira.
That is, and he's one of their top defenders. He'll come off the floor. Looks like Beckham now is on Culver. And Culver's been able to take advantage of him so far. He's a couple steps ahead of him, and he is there.
Kafisi gets the inbound. It's to Malloy. Malloy tries it himself. He loses the handle on it. I don't know if you can call that a shot attempt or not. Regardless, Kyrie Hutchings, he's slashing his way in with the left hand. It hangs on the rim. They can't get it to go. The follow-up was no good from James Beckham. J.J. Culver, guarded by Beckham. He slashes his way through. That's a charge on J.J. Culver. Team foul on number 9.
And that's the second one there on Culver.
They did your cards, feet set, shoulder kind of lowered there. Yep, that's a charge.
And J.J. Culver now going to sit down. Played the first 10 minutes and 18 seconds here, but he'll take a breather. He's got 2 fouls on him, so they probably want to keep him fresh. They still got a comfortable 9-point lead, and this Golden Eagle offense hasn't gotten anything going, so safe time.
This is the opening for the Golden Eagles. Finally, J.J. Culver on the bench. That's tied up, and it will stay with the Golden Eagles.
And as you said, this is really their chance. Culver off the court, he's by far their best player. If they don't get something going here and they send Culver back on the floor in a couple minutes and JBU hasn't put a dent in this lead, they'll be in trouble.
Denzier Carnes, top of the key Bailey. JBU, you got to get some work in here with J.J. Culver on the bench. Rojas Grabligowski's cutting out. Harper, and they get him involved. He knocks it down. Big 3 from Luke Harper. It's a 2-possession game already.
Harper now, he's one of those that he can hit those threes. He can put the team on his back and get him back in the swing of things. He's got 5 of their 10. We'll see if they can complete this with a stop.
And you got it. There's a foul somewhere. That's team foul number 7. There's the 3 from Luke Harper.
Looks like off the foul now. Wayland going to the line here.
That's Matthew Malloy. Actually a Baylor transfer, funny enough. Baylor Bears, they went down today.
Lost to the Kansas Jayhawks.
Former JBU assistant Ty Beard. He's on staff there at Baylor. He's one of their video coordinators, I believe. Saw him on ESPN this morning. Luke Harper, he puts it on the right hand, kicked out. Grabligowski's pump fake, out. James Beckham, we don't see him shoot the 3 very often. He goes out. I don't think that hit anything. 4 seconds to go. Bailey, they got 3 seconds to work with. They just got to go with it. Baby hook, no good. That also missed everything. It's a shot clock violation.
And that's huge there for Wayland to take that much time off, tire out that Golden Eagle offense, and end it with empty-handed. Culver not back in on this wave of substitutions. I'm assuming if John Brown then cut this to a 4-point lead or a 3-point lead, then you may see Coach Harrelson take a timeout or something along those lines to get JJ back in it.
There's Yuda, or rather that's CJ Obenwa. Top of the key again. It's Malloy again. That 3 is no good. 23, reach in there and he poked it out. Let's see who they bring in here.
Looks like Washington's coming back. He's one of their top defenders. Culver, though, still staying seated.
Dane Boyol checks in, as well as Jabril Washington.
Looks like they're going to have a full court presence here. How aggressive they are with it, I'm not sure. Looks like they're going to try something.
Well, they backed the pressure off a bit, although Rokas Drabliauskas had it poked away. Rokas, he's going towards the basket. To Bailey. Baby hook from Bailey is good. It's 16-12.
And this is where you probably see Culver come back.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. 30.
And right now, it was all Wayland to start things off, but John Brown, they've gotten on a run. Nice feed there to Bailey. He lets it go himself. And this game started off 16-2 run in favor of Wayland, but John Brown, they're on a 10-0 run since then. Right now, they got to call in the reinforcements. J.J. Culver among them. And Culver, the type of guy, he can take the game into his own hands, so now you need a full effort from whoever you have out there on defense. We'll see who they take. Looks like Perrier will take a seat. James Beckham, if Culver comes back out there, that's going to be the matchup to watch.
Let's see.
And
yeah. Oh, no,
Culver,
he's headed back to the bench.
He's taking a seat.
I guess with 2 personals, maybe that's why they're... I mean, we got 8 minutes left in this thing. I bet we see him about that 5-minute mark.
It would not be surprising, but, I mean, for a guy averaging just under 35 minutes per, a little surprising to see him take a rest that's more than a minute long.
Oh, here comes a press from the Golden Eagles. We don't see it that much. Oh, Beaulieu was wide open under the basket, and they did not see it. There was nobody within 20 feet of it. It's Jafisi. They get it around to Beaulieu. He looks to set a screen. Double team from the Golden Eagles. Obenwald's in some trouble. They get it away. There's a wild shot there. No good from Brannon. Up ahead to James Beckham. I probably won't see Beckham shoot again. That last one didn't really hit much. There's a foul underneath. That'll be on Beaulieu. And 2 more free throws incoming.
And Wayland, they put John Brown in the double bonus. Hole they don't want to be in early. Golden Eagles a really good free throw shooting team. Bailey, though, is not among one of their top threats at the line, but he did hit them both earlier when he was there, so these are huge for John Brown. Make them both, it's a 2-point game. And back in comes J.J. Culver as well as Jack Nobles, their 2 best players offensively. Big substitutions there.
Second free throw drops for Quinton.
We'll see who they put. They got Beckham on Culver.
16-14. It's a 1-possession game. Quite a run by the Golden Eagles. There's Nobles on the left hand. That's a double dribble. 2-point game, 7:07 to go. And J.J. Culver probably just wanted them to give him the ball.
And that's what's worked for them so far. Looks like they're going to bring back in Luke Harper.
Offense for defense. Once again.
Common Beshta trait there.
Yep. Offense for defense.
We'll see what they do, though, once they go back on the defensive end.
Grabliauskas. Obradovic fighting down low with Nobles. Down on the low block. Spin move, Obradovic. Off the glass and good. Nemanja Obradovic. It's 16-16, Ori.
Just like that, we're tied up. It was 16-2 at one point, but the drought has kind of shifted, as has the momentum. 14-0 run by the Golden Eagles. And it took them almost 9 minutes to actually get a field goal on the board, but since then, they've really gotten going as an offense.
14-0 run. There's Nobles. Deep 3, no good.
They can take the lead here, and a few minutes ago, that seemed like it wasn't even a possibility.
They got JJ to leave his feet, had an opening, and that one is swatted out of bounds. What a strong take by Nemanja. He's really come into his own down below the basket as the season has drawn on. Rokas Grabliauskas on the far sideline. Here's to Harper. Harper weaving his way in, and he hit the bottom of the backboard there. They kind of forced the issue. Up ahead, taken away by Nemanja Obradovic. The big man makes plays on both ends of the floor. Up ahead, Kyrie Hutchings. He'll pull up a deep three. Kyrie Hutchings, count it. Bucket, 19-16, John Brown Golden Eagles.
17-0 run by John Brown and Wayland right now, even with J.J. Culver back on the floor, kind of sputtering.
Culver, that shot's wild. Kyrie Hutchings pulls it down. The 17-0 run continues. He was on the Shiai signature. Here's Kyrie Hutchings again. Top of the key. Fed to Harper. Far sideline to the top of the key, it's Obradovic. Carnes on the near sideline. He puts it on his right hand. Spin move on the low block, weaving his way in. Oh, he's rejected at the rim by Javril Washington. What a block. And they say it was touching Denzier. 19-16 it stays. Wayland Baptist basketball.
Looks like they're going back defense for offense here. Beckham going in for Luke Harper. Ira Perrier has really not been a big part of the game these last couple minutes. He's got those two personals on him. Looks like Coach Beshel wants to take a timeout to talk about it. But, I mean, this game started out 16-2 run by Wayland to open it up. John Brown didn't actually hit a field goal till Kyrie Hutchings knocked down a three with about 11 minutes left. And right now, I mean, just dominant for John Brown.
Actually heard from Coach Ty Harrelson prior to the game, so let's see what he had to say before the game.
I'm here with Coach Harrelson. Coach, do you expect this game against JBU to be an offensive or a defensive game?
Well, last time we played, the final score is 64-56, so it was a pretty strong defensive battle. I would expect a little bit more of the same today. Both teams are at the top of the league defensively, so it's probably going to be a grinded-out game.
Yeah. Coach, how big would a win on the road be before going into tournaments?
Well, I think it'd be huge for us. John Brown's undefeated at home this year. It'd be nice to win against one of the top teams in our league just before the tournament starts and here at the end of the season.
Coach, what's it going to take for your team to pull out on top against JBU?
Well, I think the key is we got to find a way to stop Denzier, Carnes, and Harper. They're both dynamic offensive players, and at the same time, we only scored 56 at our place, so we need to get the offense going. We need to move the basketball, and it's a credit to John Brown. They're a good defensive team, but we're playing better basketball here down the stretch, and I'm excited for today's game.
All right, good luck tonight, Coach.
Thank you.
3-point lead for the John Brown Golden Eagles, already a 17-0 run for JBU. And you have to wonder if JJ is just calling for the ball at this point.
I mean, he's the one that's really, they've worked it through. He's got 8 points, but he's only shooting 3 for 10 from the field, including 1 for 5 deep. This Golden Eagle defense, after a couple initial missteps, they've really clamped down on him.
JJ up at the top. It's Rokas Drabliauskas. I have to wonder if they switch James Beckham over there on him. There's Nobles. They feed it to JJ. Contested by Rokas. No good. He collects his own board. Weaving his way in. Well contested. No good again. Rebounded by Denzier Carnes.
He has just become ice cold. Left him open there in the corner. Misstep by Rokas. Then he gets his own board. Tries to shoot over a couple Golden Eagles, and it's not working for him.
Carnes out. Kyrie Hutchings. 3 from Hutchings is good again. On senior day, Kyrie Hutchings. 3 triples. He's got 9 points.
We'll see how Wayland can respond here. Looks like they got Beckham back on Culver.
And drop down to Nobles. He's double teamed. Beckham on Culver. Nobles swings over to set a pick in the hands of Obenwald. Obenwald left hand. Tries to cross over Grabliauskas. Deep 2, no good again. Wayland is ice cold.
They haven't made a basket last 5 or 6 minutes.
The 20-0 run for the Golden Eagles. Crossed over Hutchins. Denzier Carnes. Far side Grabliauskas. It's dropped down low. Nemanja Obradovic again. The baby hook from Obradovic. Roll it on home.
Took a bit of a journey there, but it falls in. This was a team down 14 about 6-7 minutes ago. Now they're up by 8.
22-0 run. Obenwald. Drop down low. Nobles. He's double teamed. He can't get it out. Yes, he finally does. Fillmore. 10 to shoot. They've had a hard time getting JJ open. A lot of the shots he's taken have been contested. Dropped in, Nobles. They tried to get it to Nobles. It'll be Fillmore with a deep three. He can't get it to fall. Rebounded by Jabril Washington. That pass goes a bit long, but Fillmore comes down with it.
And this has just not been a very good possession for Wayland despite the rebound. They've almost lost the ball a couple times, haven't been getting good looks. This JBU defense, they've really clamped down, and they played tough.
They got on Culver. 5 to shoot. He's going to have to do something with it. Wild shot from Culver. No good again. Rebounded by Denzier Carnes.
They're taking these long possessions, but it's not because they're being patient finding the right shot. It's because this Golden Eagle defense has made it so tough on them.
Carnes. He floats it up and in. 24-0 run. Timeout, Wayland Baptist.
And those are Carnes' first points of the game, and it's just been a great run for this team. 24-0 run by the John Brown Golden Eagles. Get a nice look at it there. Carnes goes in, shoots it over a couple Pioneers, does it himself.
It's great body control from Denzier there.
And the Golden Eagles, they followed up probably their worst 9 minutes of basketball offensively this season with about 9 of their best. Now we'll see who can win these last couple minutes. If you're Wayland, you're probably not going to enter the half with the lead, but if you can cut this thing down to 5, maybe get it down to a 2-possession game, you would really be flying high going in there. Stop this Golden Eagle momentum. I mean, you got a big crowd on hand, one of our bigger ones at Bill George. You want to quiet them down. You don't want to get them involved. You don't want to get them fired up. And just a great job by this Golden Eagle defense. Right now, Wayland just shooting 24% from the field, 6 for 25. And 3 for 12 for three-point range, 25%. Golden Eagles right now just playing some stout defense against an offense that has probably the best threat in the conference in Culver and averages 81 points per game.
Corey, I got a trivia question for you. You're not allowed to look.
Uh-oh.
We got 9 teams in the NAIA. There are 9 teams in the NAIA who are 20 games over 500. How many can you name?
How many can I name?
How many can you name? You got 9 teams. You can think of 2 of them off the top of your head.
I mean, JBU and MACU are the 2 obvious ones.
There's 2. I guessed 5 of 9. I want to see if you can do any better. You're not allowed to use your computer.
I mean, I kind of cheated the other day for that one because I looked at the rankings. I know Georgetown, Kentucky's one of them.
That's another easy one. That'd be 3.
LSU, Alexandria. I know they're right above John Brown.
It'd be Shreveport. You get Shreveport instead of
LSU, Shreveport.
I'll let you think on that one. That's swatted away by Stoles. It goes out off of Wayland Baptist, off of Udo.
And just another stop by John Brown.
Now, what a play by Stoles.
Looks like Wayland going into full court, kind of easing up. Just kind of letting them know they're there. There's Beckham.
There's Kyrie Hutchins, top of the key Bailey. JV's got 2 minutes to work with here. And they extend this run and this lead. That'll be a foul. That's on Trey Fillmore. 2 more free throws for the Golden Eagles.
That's Fillmore's 3rd.
All right, Ori, to further give you the answer on my trivia question.
Who have I said so far?
So you've said JBU and MACU and Georgetown. You got 3.
Georgetown, LSU, Shreveport, I guess was. I get those 2, Alexandria and Shreveport.
Those are 2 very good programs, and it's a pretty. And I mean, I assume there's a good chance both of them make the tournament, but those are 2 really good programs. The second free throw falls.
And this is for teams 20 wins above?
20 wins above 500 in the NAIA.
And I'm assuming Shreveport, they're number 8, right?
They're up there. I can't remember what they are in the poll. I believe that's correct. There's Culver at the top of the key. Left side, Fillmore. Bounce pass in, and finally, they are mercifully able to end the run and end the scoring drought. It's 28-18 Golden Eagles. Carnes across here. Drops that one over to Kyrie Hutchins. James Bailey at the top. Denzier Carnes near sideline. Puts a few dribbles down. They get it back out to Kyrie Hutchins. 7 to shoot. Kyrie Hutchins on senior day. They're going to have to just let him put it up. He does. It's a little bit long. Ira Perrier was up for it, and they will call a foul. Let's see who it's on. It's on. Well, it'll be on Wayland. And that will once again put James Beckham on the free throw line.
James Beckham. He was 2 for 2 his first time there. Got his first one there. Going into today, James Beckham at the free throw line, 32 for 50, 64%.
That'll be a lane violation on Jack Nobles.
Gives him another chance at it.
29-18. What was 1 point, a 24-0 run. The second one does not go as well, and they'll get Denzier Carnes on that one. Looks like he and Udo locked arms there, and that'll be on Denzier. Just the first personal on Denz, though.
That is the 8th team foul on John Brown. It looks like Stoles was going to go into the game, but Bester called him back.
Checking in now for Baptist, number 40, Braille Washington. Luke Harper, number 40, Golden Eagles, replacing James Beckham. At the lunch, you won a Bobby Udo.
Key miss there at the line.
Does not fall. Pulled down by Denzier Carnes. JBU can extend this 11-point lead here.
Wayland, they need to stop here. They need to go to this half on some sort of high note, some type of momentum. But John Brown, a 27-2 run these last 10 or so minutes.
The hook from Bailey. He did not get enough on it. They lead it by 11. You assume it's going to number 10 right here. Fillmore. AJ Culver, they haven't had him bringing the ball up as much, and now it's in his hands. It's double team. Rojas Drabliauskas turns him towards the top of the arc. Oh, he thought about the shot. Kind of surprised he didn't take one there. Well, they find it. That's picked off by Rojas Drabliauskas. Up ahead to Kyrie Hutchings. The layup is good from Hutchings. 11 first half points for the senior.
Now Wayland going to hold to the last shot. They got some time to do it. Expect Culver to take it. Maybe a screen to free him up. One last shot at it.
Comes an ISO, you assume. JBU switches it to his own defense. Smart defensive change. They instead get it to Bonnie Udo. Bonnie Udo couldn't get it to fall. What an end to that half for the Golden Eagles. 31-18. At one point, that was a 24-0 run. And they lead it by 13. The replay there from the final layup. What a first half for Kyrie Hutchings. JBU leads it by 13. Ori, what are your thoughts before we take a break?
First 9 minutes of the game were probably JBU's worst offensively. They weren't hitting any shots to save their life, no field goals whatsoever. Those last 11 minutes or so, just a huge run though, 29-2. It was 16-2 at one point, but JBU, they just kept the foot on the gas. And JJ Culver's really been kept silent, forcing some bad spots. He's got 8 points on the board, but that's off 3 for 13, shooting a high volume of shots, but just not impressive performance by him. Very impressive though for this Gold Eagle defense to clamp down the way they have.
They really have clamped down, and it has a lot to do with James Beckham, has a lot to do with Ira Perrier. Those two guys are really putting some work in. And it's 31-18 to show. We'll take a little bit of a break. You'll be back with some stats here in just a little bit. I think you can focus on that defensive presence that JBU has had. 13-point lead. We take a break here on JBUathletics.com. I'm Carter Hinson alongside Ori Phillips.
Hey, just a quick shout out to Tropical Smoothie Cafe, our MVP booster today. And once again, thank you for the Undie 500. There's lots of pairs of clean underwear out there for our kiddos in Siloam Springs. Thank you. If you forgot yours, just drop some money in the jars at concessions and we'll get some to them. All right, this is specifically for parents that are here for Parents Weekend. I got a question for you. If you want to guess one of the 7 answers, you raise your hand and I'll come find you. America says, growing up, my favorite schoolyard game was... Parents, you can't yell out. You have to raise your hand, and this is only parents right now. Parents of JBU students. All right, excuse me here. This is going to get tougher to get to. Growing up, my favorite schoolyard game was Foursquare. You know, that's a good guess, but that's not one of the top 7. But have a BOGO from Pyology. Another JBU parent, right here. Favorite schoolyard game?
Tetherball.
Tetherball, there it is. Free smoothie, tropical smoothie, well done. You got one? Double Dutch, that's another good one, but not one of the top 7 from America. All right, I'm coming over here. Your favorite schoolyard game growing up?
Tag.
Tag, there it is. Have a free pizza from Pyology. We got 2 of them. What do we got?
Kickball.
Kickball, there's another one. Free pizza. JBU parent. Anybody over here? Here we go. My favorite schoolyard game growing up.
Red Rover.
Red Rover. You guys don't even know what that is, do you? What's another one?
Dodgeball.
Dodgeball. There we go. 1, 2, I got 2 left. 2 answers. Favorite schoolyard game?
Red light, green light.
Oh, that's a good one too, but not one of the top 7. There's a BOGO from Pyology. 2 of them left. You think you got it? Excuse me.
Mother, may I?
Mother, may I? Another good one. Not in the top 7, though. I'll give you a hint. Starts with an H. Don't say it out loud. Starts with an H. I'm coming. You guys are wearing me out. What do you think it is?
Hopscotch.
Hopscotch. All right. All right, last question here. America says, I always turn up the blank to its highest setting. I always turn up the blank to the highest setting.
Air conditioner.
Air conditioner, tropical smoothie, there you go. See how easy that is? Come on. I always turn up the what to the highest setting?
Volume.
The volume. Free pizza, well done. I'm coming, Alice. I always turn up the blank to the highest setting.
I don't know.
What'd you say?
The heat.
The heater, there it is. All right. Coming through here, excuse me. President Pollard, I'm coming to see if you've got this. I always turn up the blank to the highest setting.
The fan.
The fan, there you go. Anybody else? How about on that side? All right, students, Jack. I always turn up the blank to the highest setting.
The volume.
Somebody already said that, but good guess. JJ, I always turn up the blank to the highest setting.
Intensity.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a BOGO. That's not one of America's top 7. You got one? All right, I'll be back.
Music.
Music, that's good, but that's not a top 7. Jack, you got one? This is your last chance, all right?
Temperature.
Temperature, somebody already said heater. Same thing. All right, Dr. Wakefield.
My hearing aid.
You know, it's not the top 7, but there's a pizza, because I got you. All right, girls. Come on, think about getting ready in the morning. What do you turn up to the highest setting?
Curling iron.
What's another one?
Straightener.
What's another one?
Hair dryer.
Hair dryer, there we go. You'll never get the last one, it was brightness. Well done, thanks for playing.
We will stand, we will fight, we'll take everything we need. We won't lay down and die, this is who we are meant to be. There's no second guessing, yeah, we're gonna wear the crown. 'Cause we will stand, we will fight, we won't stop until you all see we're the new kings. At first, you just ignored us like we're a passing fad. But then we raised our voices, and now you're scared of all the power that we have. We're coming for you.
Welcome back in for our halftime report. Here's score after a half of play. John Brown on top, 31-18 over Wayland Baptist. The Pioneers off to a really fast start in the early going. We're on a 16-2 run to open up the game. After that, though, it was all John Brown. It took them 9 minutes to get a field goal made. After that, though, they were unstoppable. Had a huge run, 29-2 to end it off. Get a look here at some of the stats. Right now, John Brown shooting 9 for 22 from the field, 40.9%. Wayland, meanwhile, struggling offensively, only shooting 25% from the field. Then you look elsewhere. Only shooting 25% from three-point range. Wayland, 3 for 12. John Brown, meanwhile, 4 for 8, 50%. At the free throw line, John Brown, 9 for 11, 81%. Wayland, meanwhile, just 1 for 2. They did not get to the line much, or very much at all in the first half. Then you look elsewhere here on the glass. John Brown winning that battle. 21 rebounds to Wayland's 16. Wayland does have one more offensive board. 6 assists for John Brown, only 5 for the Wayland Baptist Pioneers. John Brown, they turned the ball over 8 times to Wayland 7. John Brown has 10 points off turnovers. Wayland has 6. John Brown has 1 second chance point. Wayland does not have any. 9 off the bench for JBU, 5 for Wayland. Wayland has 8 points in the paint. John Brown has 6. John Brown has 3 blocks. Wayland has 2, including a huge block by Dwayne Hart. I mean, there has not been a shortage of exciting plays at Bill George this season, but that Dwayne Hart block on J.J. Culver to open things up has to be one of the biggest of the season. 4 steals for Wayland, 1 for John Brown, 5 assists for each team. Leading the way for John Brown on the board, Kyrie Hutchings, he has 9 points. Quentin Bailey follows that with 6. Luke Harper has 5. James Beckham is 3. Nemanja Obradovic has 4. Denzier Carnes has 2. Wayland, meanwhile, leading the way is J.J. Culver. He has 8 of their 18 points. And right now, though, only shooting 3 for 13 from the field. So they will need to up the efficiency offensively. Right now, this Golden Eagle defense really flying high going into the half.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the John G. High Court.
Ten or so minutes of the entire first half, so they have a lot of momentum. So that will do it for our coverage of this one. Then we go to the women's side of things. John Brown, they played earlier today. It was a senior day game for the JBU women, but it was not one that ended well for them. They were just never really got into much of a rhythm, and as a result, Wayland was able to take a win there by a score of 94-59. With the win, Wayland on the season, they advanced to 26-2. They also are 17-1 in conference play. You have a big rematch against Oklahoma City coming next week in Plainview. Meanwhile, John Brown, they in their Bill George Arena slate this season. They fall to 9-18, 5-13 in conference. They have a couple more games next week against Texas Wesleyan and Sagu on the road to try to break into that conference tournament picture. But anyway, I'll cover both games further in the post-game show that will follow. That will do it for the halftime report. We'll be right back in about 2.5 minutes to bring you the second half of John Brown Wayland.
To Bill George Arena on the campus of John Brown University in Siloam Springs, Arkansas. Sooner Athletic Conference basketball action between the John Brown Golden Eagles and the Wayland Baptist Pioneers. Ori, that was a 29-2 run that JBU ended the half on. It was 24-0 until Wayland mercifully ended it with a basket, but still 29-2 to end the half.
I mean, it was just huge for John Brown. I've said it probably 2 or 3 other times. They played their worst 9 minutes of basketball this season. It started off, then they played probably their 11 best minutes to end it off. We'll see which side of John Brown we get here in the second half. They're a team that in the second half, they do really good normally. They had a great second half against Panhandle the other day, but if you're Wayland, I mean, you got to get in the hands of your shooters. J.J. Culver, I mean, chief among them. He's got 8 points, but that's largely because of the volume of his shots. He's taken 13. I mean, if you take 13, you better have 8. He's only shooting 3 for 13, so we'll see what they can do here. They'll get the first crack at things, but they need some shots.
31-18 the score. You assume the ball will be in J.J. Culver's hands a lot. Here's a deep three. Top of the key, it's good. It's from Jordan Brennan, the freshman out of Lubbock. And you wonder if they looked for him a little bit more.
It's a big shot there. Takes it back to 10 points. JBU now, the pressure's on them to answer. Wayland's a team you do not want to get them on a scoring run or give them confidence or momentum, because that's a very high-powered bench, very momentum-driven.
Inside Bailey, he's working on Jack Nobles. That one rattles out. Not a bad look again. J.J. Culver. Near side is Fillmore, back in the hands of Culver. There's Obenwald. He's guarded by Grabliauskas on the far side. Right side, Nobles, down
Culver
low again. And that'll be a foul on the Golden Eagles. We'll see who they called that one on. JJ was on the outside, wide open on this near side.
That's going to be on Bailey. That's only his first. But yeah, Culver, he was on that left corner jumping forward. He wanted it, but 3 Golden Eagles around him. No clear ideal area to get it to him at.
Back iron on the first from Jordan Brannon. So we didn't see much of Brandon there in that first half, and kind of wondered why we didn't, if he's this strong of a shooter.
Brandon, a freshman, he got some starts here earlier this year. He's got 9 on the season, but as you said, just haven't seen a whole lot from him.
Oh, the second one drops. That's a miscue from Luke Harper, and
he had to foul him there.
Yeah.
That's his 3rd, though. He's their top scoring threat from deep, and he's got 3 personals. Didn't see a whole lot of Ira Perrier in the first half either because of foul trouble, so it's going to be something that's going to be a recurring theme in this game, I feel like.
Culver on the baseline. They move it around. It's Obenwald, wide open for 3, no good. Rebounded by Harper. This one could get a little bit chippy. There's a lot of pushing around happening underneath the basket. There's Carnes, near side. Grabliauskas, his 3 is good. 34-22, back up to a dozen for JBU. Obenwald's, Nobles. Majority of these minutes are eaten by the 5 players on the floor, save for Jordan Brannon. Fillmore, he's trying to slash his way in. They lose the handle on it. Harper comes away with it. Another turnover. There's Denzier Carnes, back out Perrier, top of the key. Harper, swatted away by J.J. Culver. He closes the gap so quickly. He'll get an easy 2, and they're going to need more of that.
And normally we would have seen Harper foul there, but that would have been number 4 for him, so it may have been the smart thing just to let Culver go in, take the layup.
Denzier Carnes backing in on Brennan. Nobles comes over help side. Here's Bailey, jump stop. Cannot softly put it in. It's no good. Rebounded by Trey Fillmore. They almost lost the handle on it, trying to get it up to Culver. Swatted away by Carnes on the other end. That is the second time today that J.J. Culver has just been rejected at the rim. First by Dwayne Hart on the first play of the game, and now by Denzier Carnes.
Culver, very ambitious and rightfully so. He's one of their best guys, if not their best guy. But second time today, he's taken a trip to the basket on one of JBU's big men and got swatted away.
Fillmore dropped in to Nobles. There's some help side from Perrier. That one's taken away by Kyrie Hutchings. Kyrie crossing over. Probably just had JJ to leave his feet. He recovered nicely. Carnes baseline, pulls up, jumper, just a little bit too strong, no good. It's rebounded by Obenwald. They're gonna quickly move it the other way. Inside, oh, another swat. It's Grabliauskas this time around. He rejects Fillmore. It meets him at the rim. What a defense from this John Brown Golden Eagles unit. Top of the key, Bailey. Denzier Carnes near sideline. Hands it off to Kyrie Hutchings. He crosses over, spin move in the lane, 7 to shoot for the Golden Eagles. Back outside Grabliauskas, that 3 had JJ Culver closing very quickly, and they will tag Ira Perrier on the foul. That'll be his 3rd, and James Beckham will give him a break.
And Perrier is their top guy defensively, and while I'd say he's done a pretty good job covering Culver, keeping him in check, those fouls are catching up to him there, and he's going to have to take a seat. Beckham now comes in. Culver's managed to have a little more success on him. We'll see if he can in this situation.
All right, they're going to get JJ on the foul there.
That's his 3rd.
That is his 3rd. And with the amount of minutes he plays, they really need him to stay in there, but I wonder if JBU might go after him a little bit.
Would not surprise me if they do, and we'll see what happens here. Looks like they're going to put Culver on Harper. Wayland in a full court look, not really aggressive, not as aggressive as Wayland was in the women's game, but they're letting them know that they're right there and waiting on him to mess up.
Left side Beckham. It was high off the glass, no good. Up ahead, it's Nobles. Nobles, I don't know if they had a hand on that one or not. He was stuffed by either a player or the rim. I'm not sure which one. He comes away with it, and he does finish that one. That cuts it to 8.
And Nobles really kind of had a quiet first half. He's one of their top threats, especially on the inside.
Nice move by Harper. Ooh, he splits the seam. He finishes.
Was a step ahead of his defender there. Nice move, went inside, got the easy layup.
Back up to 10. Nobles backing out. Here comes help side defense from Luke Harper. He loses the handle on it. That one's poked out by Kyrie Hutchings. And with 19 to shoot, Wayland Baptist will retain possession.
Right now, John Brown's really done a great job in the passing lanes. Forced 11 turnovers so far and a bunch of near mishaps as well. See if they can keep up this intensity. Screen.
Right side Obenwald. High off the glass, no good. Rebounded by James Beckham. This defensive unit is so good for the Golden Eagles. Kyrie Hutchings. Harper at the top. Fed over here. Denzier Carnes. His 3 is good. They open it back up. JBU leads by a baker's dozen.
Carnes also another guy who had a quiet first half, but another player you do not want to see him get hot. That 3-pointer there kicks it up. 5 points from the man. Double-double Dens.
Double-double Dens indeed. That one's ripped away. Quentin Bailey comes away with it. Turnover 12 for Wayland Baptist. Kyrie, he's on his left hand. Gets it to Luke Harper. This really has been a team effort for the Golden Eagles. Denzier Carnes splitting some defenders, trying to fight against Jack Nobles. Nobles wins the battle. JJ Culver up ahead. He will just lay it up and in. He finishes. That cuts it to 11. And then JBU throws it on away. Not a wise play there by Kyrie Hutchings on the inbound. Hey, the scoreboard is not.
Having a bit of issues here with the scoreboard. There you go.
Almost looked like it was frozen. It was changed on the live stats, but it wasn't. Scoreboard was having some trouble.
This is a big possession here for Wayland. They can cut this back to single digits. They got to get the ball inbounded. Smart timeout there.
Timeout. 39-28. JBU leads the Wayland Baptist Pioneers.
Right now, it's been a little more evenly matched of a second half. John Brown has the slight edge, but Wayland's still in this. But big plays by John Brown are why they're in the lead, and you see a big one there by Denzier. And I said it a couple days ago against Panhandle State, but a lot of teams, a lot of defenses, they don't respect Denzier Carnes in his long-range shooting game, but he's the guy, he can still kill you from deep. He's actually shooting at 41% from long range this year, one of their top guys, even though he's somebody that you normally see as more of a big man, somebody that would dominate the paint.
All right, Ori, did you ever come up with the remaining six teams?
I got a couple. I don't think I'll get all six. I doubt it. One of them, I think this is a shot in the dark, but is Thomas More one of them? I know they beat Georgetown the other day.
Thomas More was not. That is a good guess, though. Former D3 team, Thomas More.
I know they beat Georgetown the other day, and they're one of the hotter teams, could make a run in the NAIA tournament.
Up ahead, Ira Perrier pulls that board down. I will read the remainder to you when we get another dead ball. Ira Perrier on the far side. Quentin Bailey. Here comes James Beckham.
Oh,
They
man.
throw that one away. So the answer to the trivia question.
Hold it. Is Dalton State one of them? Idaho, there you go.
There you go. Dalton State is actually in Georgia, but we have Mid-America Christian, Georgetown, Lewis Clark State out of Idaho, Dalton State, Westmont, JBU, LSU, Shreveport, Faulkner, and William Penn. 9 teams above, 20 games above 500. That was stolen away almost stolen away. Perrier comes away with it.
Got him
Feeds it to Beckham. Oh, he cannot throw it down. Sorry if I blew out your speakers there. It looked like he was about to just throw that one down.
There's been no shortage of big-time plays. That one was another one in the making, but I think he'll take some free throws. But
Boy, that one almost got me out of my chair. 39-28.
We've had a bunch of those type of plays. I mean, a couple days ago, we had the Perrier dunk. It was over Southwestern Christian. We had Carnes with a big one-handed slam. Then earlier on today, the Hart block. That would have been another one that gone right up there. We've seen some top 5 plays by John Brown, some of the flashiest plays this year, all made within the last week.
Yeah, he finishes the first free throw. Man, he had a head of steam, too, and he was just ready to flush that. And he took some contact. Oof. Man, I wish he could have finished it. 41-28.
All right, now Wayland, they're in a tough spot here. They're not out of it completely, but they need a scoring run, and that's something they haven't had since the start of the game.
Here's Culver. 13.5 to go. Nobles, they feed it to JJ. Oh, he was wide open underneath the basket. One of the best players in the conference isn't going to miss that. James Beckham, far sideline. Obradovich, they move it around to Ira Perry on the near side. It'll be Grabliauskas. Beckham guarded by Obenwald. Kyrie Hutchings, they had a little bit of a switch. They left Hutchings open, rebounded by J.J. Culver. J.J. crossing over. Nobles, back out. Fed it down low to Nobles. Here's help side from James Beckham. Oh, and they call a foul.
That's on Beckham. I was looking for a travel there, but officials saw differently.
Shoots out to J.J. Culver. Down low, it's Noble. Oh, high off the glass. What a finish from Noble. Nobles, rather, excuse me. Harper bringing it right to left for the Golden Eagles. And Denzier Carnes a little bit tied up there. They need some help. They get it in Nemanja Obradovich. He hands it back to Luke Harper. Stolen away again by J.J. Culver. Throws it up ahead. Nobody really took advantage of it. And Jack Nobles runs over Ira Perrier. That's another foul on him. Here's the replay.
Nobles didn't agree with the call, but clear charge there.
Yeah, it was just a little bit out of control there. And maybe if he had had possession of the ball a little bit earlier, but Aiden, just a little bit out of control. He runs over Ira. 9-point lead for the Golden Eagles. A player like J.J. Culver on the roster, that can change in a heartbeat. Nemanja Obradovic, this time they'll get Nobles again.
And that would be number 4 for him. And he's their top guy in the post, one of their top big men.
That's another one. 2 quick ones on Nobles. And here comes Boniudo.
And Jack Nobles.
Udo, excuse me.
Jack Nobles has had a very rough game. They've really picked on him a lot. And he's tried to also take it to Quentin Bailey, Denzier Carnes multiple times. Just hasn't had much success, if any.
Harper guarded by J.J. Culver. They get it to Denzier Carnes. Nemanja Obradovic at the top of the key. The right side, Harper, and there's that'll be 3 in the key. I didn't see who was there. I think it was probably Ira Perrier or Rokas. One of those two was near. I had my eyes away from it. Here's Udo. That 2 would be a little bit long. 9-point lead for the Golden Eagles. It's 41-32. Hutchings, Ira Perrier, top of the key, Denzier Carnes. Orcus Grabligauskas on the far side. He puts it on his left hand, pulls up in the lane, feeds it down on the back cut to Ira Perrier. It was taken away. J.J. Culver with a full head of steam. He kicks it out. It's Brandon. Brandon bounce pass into Udo. Udo finishes. 7-point game. Wayland Baptist picking up a little bit of momentum here.
Slowly but surely they've gotten back into this thing, and the pressure starting to trickle back in favor of John Brown, or against John Brown, I should say. They need to get some points.
Ira Perrier will take it himself. Foul +1. It's Ira Perrier. That's a big play for Ira Perrier.
Get a look there, and Ira's not a guy who oftentimes just does it himself offensively, but that time unafraid to drive in, draws the foul. If he can complete this 3-point play, takes it back up to double digits for the Golden Eagles.
The first free throw, and only free throw, is good. 3 points for Ira there. It's his only 3 of the game, but that's a big one. It gets it back up to double digits. Here's Brandon on his right hand.
And he
gets into the lane. I don't know if the referee saw the 3rd step there. They're giving the referee grief over that one, but it doesn't matter. That's 2 points. Denzier Carnes kicked out. Kyrie Hutchings. 3 from Kyrie is good. Another big 3. 14 points for Kyrie Hutchings on senior day.
And Kyrie Hutchings and a corner 3, name a better combination. I mean, just look there, right corner left open, and bang.
Kyrie Hutchings has such a high jump on the 3.
And right there, Kyrie Hutchings on senior day having a big game here, 14 points. Leading the way for John Brown, and then Wayland, that puts pressure back on them. And J.J. Culver, I mean, he's had a good game. He's taken 17 shots, 14 points among those 17 shots, but if they keep looking his way, he will continue to answer, and it's on John Brown to get somebody on him to keep him covered. Golden Eagles are probably just a scoring run away from really making this lead insurmountable, but at the same time, we're in a position where if Wayland, if they get on a scoring run, and there's a good chance that they could, they're back into this thing. This is a big game here for Wayland. The Pioneers receiving votes for the top 25, but that equates to them pretty much being a bubble team at this point for Kansas City. They need wins. John Brown also. These next couple weeks, including the conference tournament, are going to be the difference between playing a team like Pikeville, who's right now got a losing record in conference, but still probably making the tournament, or playing a team like Sagu, or playing a team like MacView, or any of those 9 teams you mentioned that you play them in Kansas City, even ground, no home court advantage, and they could have a legitimate chance at knocking JBU off. So these upcoming games are going to be very crucial for both teams. John Brown trying to improve their seeding, and Wayland just trying to get into the Kansas City tournament there. Expect a very action-packed last 10-25 of this one.
The lead is 11 for the John Brown Golden Eagles. There's Udo and J.J. Culver. J.J., oh, he pushed off. That is foul number 4 on J.J. Culver.
He can only take one more for the last 10 minutes and 17 seconds there.
They need him on the floor, but they're going to have to pull him off.
Going in for him, Peyton Havens only averages 3 points per game in 20 minutes a game, so he's not a scoring threat. Culver is, and he's off the floor. John Brown in a prime position to try to run away with this thing if Wayland can't get some type of scoring run going.
Up ahead to Denzier Carnes. It's 47-36. We have 10 minutes left to play in this half and in this game. Bailey hands it off to Grabliauskas, and he is fouled. That's number 7, and therefore Rojas Grabliauskas heads to the free throw line.
That would put John Brown in the bonus, and foul trouble has been a common theme for the Wayland Baptist Pioneers today. A lot of their key guys getting into trouble. Both Jack Nobles and J.J. Culver sitting due to that. And John Brown, again, a really good team at the charity stripe. Big free throw there by Rokas.
Yeah, drops the first. Grabliauskas, a very good free throw shooter. He's only got 4 points today. He hits them both. Grabliauskas.
Luke Harper returns for the Golden Eagles, replacing
13-point lead for the John Brown Golden Eagles. Right side. Oh, what a finish. What a cut in by Kafisi. That's his first 2 of the game.
And if they can keep this pace with John Brown, if it's only a 6-7 point game by the time they put Culver back in a few minutes, they're still going to be in a good spot. But you don't want to let JBU run away with it with your best scorer off the floor due to foul trouble.
And for the Golden Eagles, just got to be sure to not let Wayland hang around, and that does not help. Ira Perrier throws it away.
That's not the first time we've seen them have issues making those passes out to the corners.
Both teams have 15 turnovers. That's the kind of play that Wayland is looking for to keep them in this game. It's Brannon. Fakes a pass, puts it on the left hand. C.J. Obenwald. 13 to shoot for Wayland. To his left. Maybe really putting some defensive clamps down here. It's Peyton Havens. Here's Udo, and that's a definite travel on Udo. And an unfortunate one as they're trying to get back into this thing.
Looks like a little bit of offense for defense here. Perrier takes a seat, Rokas comes in.
Grabliauskas up ahead to Kyrie Hutchings. Important to note, Ori, JBU has not lost a game at home this year.
Nope.
First time that has happened in the modern era. They're looking to complete a perfect home schedule. Denzier Carnes, I think he lost a shoe. He's running down the court with one shoe on. I don't know why they didn't stop the game there, but Denzier Carnes playing with just a sock on one foot. And he still somehow gets the player to throw it away. Deep 2 there, no good. It's Kafisi. Trying to get up and cause some pressure. And they foul is trying to get an intentional foul so they can get Denzier Carnes to get a shoe back. That is incredible.
Surprised to let him go that long with one shoe.
Yeah, generally they'll stop the play there. Just the shot clock had reset. Generally they don't just let it go, but in that case they did. Down low is Kafisi. Floats it up over Bailey. Bailey pulls the board down. To Kyrie Hutchins. Hutchins crosses over to his right. Back out, grab Liaustis. Top of the key, it's Kyrie again. Kyrie knocks it down. 17 points, Kyrie Hutchins.
And that was a long three by Hutchins and didn't make a difference there. He's got 17, led the way for this team, and big day for him. He got the start. Just a great game for Kyrie.
That's the second one of those he's knocked down. The left side to Obenwall. Deep three from Obenwall is good. That's a big, big shot for Wayland. That cuts it back to 11.
And Wayland trying to hang around here. J.J. Culver's on the scores table. He's coming back in soon.
Back in.
He's skating on thin ice with 4 fouls, but as long as he's in, Wayland is going to be in this ball game.
And they need to stay within striking distance before they can get him in. Kyrie Hutchins, oh, he weaves his way through. He's got 19.
Pressure back on Wayland. They need to put up some points here. Keep the rhythm, keep pace with the Golden Eagles. And
Kyrie Hutchins hits the hardwood there. That floater is up and good. Kyrie Hutchins has been a 5'11" wrecking crew today. A one-man wrecking crew at that. It's an 11-point game.
Coach
Harrison, this is striking distance for Wayland Baptist.
It is, and Coach Harrelson called the timeout probably for the sole purpose of getting Culver back in. You want him in there, and I mean, there isn't like very many scoring margins too big or too deep that Wayland can't get themselves out of. And with Culver, a guy like him in the game, he can dominate. And I mean, right now, he hasn't just had the most efficient game, just 6 for 17 from the field, but that can change. 1 for 6 from three-point range, but he'll keep taking those shots, and JBU, they need to play some of their best basketball defensively.
54-43, John Brown Golden Eagles. And Ori, I mean, we mentioned how many just top-tier teams there are in the NAIA this year, and 9 teams being 20 games above 500. Kansas City is going to be a wild ride.
Absolutely.
Kind of assume there will be at least 2 of those in every bracket in the tournament.
And not just those teams, but there's some really hot ones as well right now. Sagu, they're on a really nice run. Wayland, they're on a pretty good run as well. If John Brown can stop that, that would be huge for them. And Thomas More, another team, they beat Georgetown. So there's so many teams that I could see ending up kind of in that Final 4, Final 8 there in Kansas City. It's going to be a wild ride, and John Brown needs to be ready for it. That's why some of these slow starts are a little bit stress-inducing here to see happen. I mean, in Kansas City, I don't know how much you can get away with that, but John Brown started off slow, down 16-2, but they've since just put it on the Wayland Baptist Pioneers. But back in comes J.J. Culver. They're going in here.
I wonder if JBU will go right at JJ here.
Would not surprise me.
6.5 to go. He's sitting on 4 fouls. Oh, stolen away. And finished. What a play by Kafisi. That cuts it to single digits. Kyrie Hutchins working on J.J. Culver. JJ's got to be careful. He's playing pretty close there.
Would not surprise me with Culver on Kyrie if we see Kyrie try to run it to the basket.
Harper will float that one in, and he is called on the charge. That's another big play, and guess who? It's Kafisi.
And that's Luke Harper's 4th personal, so the 2 best long-range shooters on both teams, or the best shooters on both teams, I should say, each have 4 personals. Looks like Perrier is going to come in for Luke. The lone advantage John Brown has at this point, I mean, it's the biggest one there, is they're ahead by 9, so they can afford to give Luke Harper a seat. Wayland, meanwhile, their hands are tied behind their backs. They cannot afford to sit Culver for these last 6 minutes.
Here's Havens. J.J. Culver again. Good close out there by Quentin Bailey, but this is not a great matchup for the Golden Eagles, and Ira Perry will circle down. Oh, they met him at the rim, and it's a foul on Denzier Carnes. I thought that he got all ball on that. Let's see this one. Dins might have gotten him on the body there. Let's see. But Denzier Carnes rose to the challenge. Yeah, I'd say, yeah, Denzier got caught on a little bit of contact there, but regardless, almost got that block. First free throw does not fall.
And Washington, not a very good free throw shooter. Going into today, just 7 for 16, 43.8%.
Second one drops. That's a good exchange for the Golden Eagles. It's an 8-point game, 5:42 to go here. This family weekend Saturday here in Siloam Springs. Rabliauskas, right hand, he is fouled, and Rokas gets 2 free throws.
Rokas going to the line here. If they can get both of these, that would be huge. Get it back up to double digits with 5.5 left. Looks like they're going to send James Beckham back in, want some more defense there. Good to see him back and going. He was working with the trainers a little bit here for this second half, but he'll go in here for Rokas, want a little defense for offense.
10-point lead. 56-46, John Brown leads.
If you're John Brown, you want to get Culver out of this game.
Culver kicks it out. That'll be a 3 from Brannon. No good. And Kyrie Hutchings, after a bit of a scramble, comes down with it. He will bring it back. Ooh. JJ needs to be careful. They could have got on the reach there. Denzier Carnes, he slashes in. He goes up with it, and he is fouled. I think Denzier was thanking Poster. That was a shot. It looked like Malloy took a bit of a hit there.
Carnes going to the line. John Brown, though, today great at the charity stripe, 16 for 18. But if you're the Golden Eagles, one of the big priorities, at least in my mind, should be offensively picking on J.J. Culver. He's been wanting to play them really aggressive defensively. Let him play you aggressive. Draw the contact. One more foul, he's out of the game. Also surprised, we haven't seen Jack Nobles come back in. He does have the 4 fouls, but he's probably their best guy to match up against someone like Bailey or Carnes. And with him off the floor, it's allowed them to get more of an edge inside.
Second one drops. 7 points for Denzier. It's a 12-point lead for the Golden Eagles. Far side, J.J. Culver working on Ira Perrier, bounces it in. We've seen J.J. attack the rim a little bit less since he picked up that 4th. That one is floated up by Brandon, no good. Denzier Carnes pulls it down.
Yeah, and Culver knows that they're going to be set, getting the feet ready to go in case he does try to drive it in, which takes away a key aspect of his game offensively.
Denzier on the far side had that pass tipped by Brennan. Quentin Bailey comes away with it. He's going in, left hand just not strong enough. Saved there. Nice play by Peyton Havens to keep it up. He gets it up to JJ. Oh, Denzier Carnes had his feet set. JJ pulled it up. Smart play by Culver. 18 to shoot for Wayland Baptist.
Yeah, and he knows they're ready to take him out of this game, and without him, other than Nobles, they don't really have a whole lot of pure scorers.
What a pass in by Culver. Fed up and in by Malloy. He finishes, and they put him on the free throw line. Culver made that play tick. He just threw a rocket in there on the back-cutting Malloy.
Some big free throws here, or a big free throw, I should say. This would take it to single digits.
Returning for the Golden Eagles, Luke Harper and Rokas Rabliauskas.
Looks like Harper back in. He's got the 4 fouls, though, so expect Wayland to do similar to what John Brown's doing to Culver. If Harper starts a drive, expect him to set their feet and try to get John Brown's best shooter out of the game.
Malloy drops that one. The lead is back to single digits. It's most certainly not over. And here comes the pressure. Rokas Rabliauskas inbound. Gives it to Harper. Fed to Carnes. JBU safely gets it across the timeline, and they can't afford to take some time here. Screen set Bailey, a little bit of a pick and roll, drops in. That worked absolutely to perfection. Bailey sets the screen, spins down low, and he finishes. It's an 11-point lead. It's Culver, Obenwa. Near side, that's Peyton Havens. Probably might see Peyton Havens shoot a little bit more. Obenwa is up with it. No call on either player. JBU basketball. They can bleed some more clock here. Kyrie Hutchins. He's guarded by Havens. Hutchins crosses over, and that's a reach in on Havens, and that'll be number 10, so that's double bonus time for JBU.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to force a turnover there, get something, and get back on offense. But once the Pioneers do go back out there on the offensive end, J.J. Culver, he's got to be more aggressive. A key aspect of his game is driving in and going and getting some shots for him. I mean, at this point, I know he's got 4 fouls, but it's a risk you have to take because that's really the only way they can get back into this thing is through him.
Here comes the defensive crew. And they will even just, they only put Bailey up there. They're the only one. A cool 20 points for Kyrie Hutchins. He is the difference in this one. (61-49).
Perrier on Culver. If Culver drives, they're setting their feet.
JJ had it free on the outside. They go out. There he is. 3 from JJ. That is good. Again, it's a 9-point lead. Can Wayland cut it closer than that? The inbound comes to Ira Perrier. A lot of ball handlers in right now for JBU. Oh, almost stolen away. It is stolen away. That's probably a good foul by Rokas Grabliauskas to prevent an easy bucket from J.J. Culver.
He has some fouls to give. That's only a second, so smart moves there. Make Culver earn the points. He'll have a chance to at the charity stripe.
Replacing Rokas Grabliauskas and James Becker. At the line, shooting 1 J.J. Culver.
JJ does not get it to fall.
Great
so there
foul.
it is. It's a great foul by Rokas Grabliauskas. Harper across the timeline. Crossing over to the left hand. Harper. Bailey with his feet on the 3-point line. Oh, nice pass in. Nice finish. The back cut came from Luke Harper. 2 more points. Wayland Baptist cannot stop the Golden Eagles, and it's back up to double digits.
And John Brown now in a position where there are a couple possessions there with points away from sealing this thing. Wayland has to know that and sense the urgency. Just a nice feed inside to Luke Harper. And it's those type of plays that have really lifted the Golden Eagles. They've made those big, exciting plays. Started with that block from Dwayne Hart. It's kept on going. They've kept the momentum alive. And I mean, since about the 11-minute mark in the first half, John Brown has just been firing on all cylinders. Now, if you're the Pioneers, you have to sense the urgency. John Brown, they're a couple scores away from clinching this thing, or a couple empty possessions on the Pioneers' end of clinching this thing. And it's a big game for Wayland. They're not completely in the Kansas City picture yet. They need some wins.
Fed up by Obenwa. To the left side. It's Malloy. He does not get it to fall. Malloy finishes. Rather, excuse me, that was Nobles that pulled it down and finished. It's a little bit of a press here.
9-point lead. Too early to foul, but you do need some defensive stops.
There's Quentin Bailey. Handoff comes to Ira Perrier. Perrier, they now apply some pressure. He gets it to Quentin Bailey. Hey, just shoot. JB can really take some time. It's to shoot. Bailey will take it himself. And that'll be a push. I believe it's on Malloy.
That one kind of bailed out John Brown there. Would have put him in a tough spot without the foul, but now Quentin Bailey's a chance to take this thing back up to double digits. See what he can do here. If he misses one of them, though, then that's just more ammunition for Wayland.
First one drops for Bailey. Maybe you can really put this thing on ice here. That was that looked like a lane violation to me, but they didn't call it. Here's Culver. Left side, feeds it out, and who will that one be on? It's either on Quentin or Ira. It'll be on Ira Perry. That's 4 on Ira. We got 2 Golden Eagles sitting on 4.
Now that sends Culver to the line. He missed his 1-and-1 earlier, but going in, he was a 78.6% free throw shooter, over 200 attempts on the season. He knows how to get to the line. And if you're Coach Harrelson, it's good to see him becoming more aggressive now, going in and driving. So, I mean, the risks are there. He's got 4 personals on him, but at this point, they can't afford to be too conservative here.
Malloy takes a seat. Fillmore comes in. Second free throw does not fall, but it goes out off of Kyrie Hutchings, and Wayland Baptist gets another shot at this.
Wayland's still in this thing. Looks like they're going to bring back in Perrier. He's got 4 fouls, but at the same time, you can't take that too much into account, especially with the lead they have.
Yeah, a minute and a half to go. I mean, you just got to have the best players on the floor regardless of how many fouls they have.
And right now, they're in a position where if Wayland has a couple empty possessions, that's a win for John Brown. Pioneers have to understand that.
J.J. Culver, he has that one stolen away. He tried to find Obenwall in the corner. Ill-advised pass. And it'll be a foul. Who do they call it on? It's on Trey Fillmore. And Kyrie Hutchings, a chance to put this thing on ice. He's got 20. Knocks down the first.
And this one could very well do it. 11 points, a minute 16 left. Deficit may be too big for Wayland to overcome, even with Culver on the floor. Big made free throw there for Kyrie Hutchings. It's just really a great game for him. 22 points.
Second one drops as well. 22 for Kyrie Hutchings. Jack Nobles feeds that one out, and they lose the handle on it, and that should just about do it. It's an 11-point game.
Costly mistake there, and now you're in a position where if you don't get a turnover, you may have to foul. They don't really have a whole lot of options left. They're going to put all their efforts here into getting interception or a steal off the inbound.
Rabliausis. Up to Kyrie Hutchings. This should just about finish it. Wayland is not going to foul. Oh, maybe they do. Looks like they weren't going to push the issue at all, but they put Obradovic on the line. Which, Monty Obradovic is a pretty good free throw shooter. There just wasn't really anyone else they could foul.
John Brown right now, they have a tough schedule next week. They got Texas Wesleyan and Sagu on the road, both ranked opponents, both teams that played John Brown really tough at Bill George. So this is a huge win for them, barring a miraculous comeback by Wayland. And then next week, Pioneers, they got Oklahoma City and Southwestern Christian, a couple bubble teams for the Sooner Athletic Conference tournament, at least going into today. I know today's slate of games might have changed that up. Those free throws there just about did it.
Get it up to JJ. Didn't see JJ bring the ball up the floor as much in the second half. Kind of surprising. And Brannon, it'll be a deep three from Obenwall. That hits off the shot clock, and that should just about do it. On senior day, it looks like they will get a dub. Quentin Bailey takes a seat. Assuming for the last home conference game, JBU will most likely be hosting a conference tournament game here. One conference tournament game before they actually head down to Plainview. They put Luke Harper on the free throw line.
Yeah, and John Brown, they'll probably have another game here at Bill George on the men's side, hosting quarterfinal game, perhaps. Wondering who they might end up playing there. It's going to be interesting to see. I mean, you got several teams here. SCU, Southwestern Christian, they beat them quite convincingly about a week ago. Oklahoma City, that's a team that they played them really closely both times.
Oklahoma City makes you nervous, I'd say.
Absolutely, and their team, I think it took overtime to beat them both times they played them this year. Yeah, on the road. It took overtime and at home.
Second one drops for Luke Harper. Will they give Luke a rest? Oh, they'll leave Luke in, it appears. Still got one senior on the floor. Have to assume they'll let Quentin take a seat here in a second, give him a little bit of an ovation. That three is good, and Ty Harrelson. Well, we thought that was it for Kyrie Hutchins, but it appears he'll check back in.
Want some offense on the floor, just I assume to let it go out. Maybe they want him up there to dribble things out.
Dribble it out, yeah.
But right now, I mean, huge win for John Brown. Looks like they'll get it going. Wayland, they got a couple home games next week, and John Brown, I mean, they got a couple on the road next week as well, and it's going to be very crucial that they go take at least one of those. Don't know if they'll get both of my. There's a good chance they do. They're ranked higher than both of them, but two very tough teams in Texas Wesleyan and Sago. Then they need to have a good showing in the conference tournament. Right now, where they're ranked, they didn't move up, surprisingly, at least in my mind, in the top 25. Still number 9. That makes for about a 3 seed in the NAIA tournament. They could compete for maybe a 2, though. It's going to be interesting to see, though, who they draw up in the quarterfinals. Not really sure yet. It could be Oklahoma City. It could be SCU. Could be Science and Arts if they falter. Could be Langston. They're 5-12. Right now, a game back, but anything can happen. Still a week left of Sooner Athletic Conference play. And really, the way it's worked all year in the conference, there isn't any real pushovers. Anybody can win any day. In Wayland, they got off to a red-hot start, 16-2 run to get things going, but then it was all JBU. I mean, when you consider that it took them almost 9 minutes to get a field goal, the fact they're coming out with 70 points, I mean, that's...
Didn't even think about that one, Ori.
Looks like they're going to try to get a turnover. I don't know if they'll foul. They're down 12.
Ooh, they had Kyrie Hutchins flying down the court. Monio Obradovich, I mean, he's a great free throw shooter. I mean, I guess maybe he's the worst one on the court. What is his percentage this year?
I think everybody on the court's at least upper 70s.
Yeah, everybody can shoot free throws.
I mean, Harper's upper 80s.
Nemanya's an 83% free throw shooter.
Yeah, I think everybody on the court right now is at least around 82. I think Rokas is the lowest rated one at 81, but for a good stretch of the non-conference slate, I think he was actually their highest rated free throw shooter. Had a couple misses down the line.
Just under 30 seconds, and what is surely a win for the Golden Eagles. Back out, another deep three, back iron, no good. Jack Nobles fighting his way in, and he is fouled and will head to the free throw line.
His third personal foul. Jack Nobles is at the line for 2 shots.
Jack Nobles, another one of those key threats. I've said it quite a bit here. Matchup-wise, I mean, he pairs up well with guys like Carnes and Quentin Bailey. I mean, they didn't have it as easy, at least in terms of grabbing boards and going out and getting those shots, as they have had against teams that lack size, like maybe a Panhandle State. But for the most part, Nobles had a really quiet game. He may get 10 points here out of this by making this upcoming free throw, but just not a really efficient game on his part. Nobles only shot 4 for 9 from the field. It's like they're a long
Deep pass to Kyrie. Dunk it, Kyrie. Let's get up there. Jump up there. They're still putting pressure on. That will be it. JV pulls it in by a dozen, 72-60. Undefeated at home, the John Brown Golden Eagles. A perfect home slate. The first time they have done that in the modern era. 16-0, 72-60 over the Wayland Baptist Pioneers. Ori, what are your thoughts?
I mean, 16 teams have come to Bill George trying to beat John Brown. 16 teams have left with the extra loss on their record. Golden Eagles, I mean, they played just very rough ball games starting things out, but after about 9 minutes in, it was all Golden Eagles. Great team performance, just great games, and they're not done here at Bill George. They'll probably host a conference tournament game here or there, depending on who comes here. I mean, Oklahoma City, they'll play them tough science and arts as well. But right now, just enjoying this win. I mean, this was a huge win for them. We knew they'd have a tough schedule going in. The last 3 games are going to be very tough, but they beat a very good Wayland team and really ended their hot streak.
(16-0), the John Brown Golden Eagles. 72-60 the final here. And Ori, before you talk to Coach Jason Beshta about his undefeated home slate this season, any final thoughts on today's game, or really this team? This is our last conference home game. We'll host a conference tournament game next week, or rather, most likely a week from Tuesday, assuming that'll be when it is. Any final thoughts on this team?
Well, they're just a great all-around basketball team. One of the most stacked teams they've had in a long time. They got offense, they got defense, they got long-range shooters, they got guys who can take it inside, great matchups. And there aren't very many teams I feel like they can stop them. Obviously, kind of the slow starts are a bit worrying in my mind. But if they can get that under control, they're going to be a team that will compete in Kansas City.
This has been a fun year for the John Brown Golden Eagles. And it's 72-60. We will take a break, and Ori will have a chat with Coach Jason Beshta here in just a few minutes on Senior Day. And Ori, there we see it. March 3rd, time TBA. JBU will be hosting a quarterfinal. We'll take a break and hear from Coach Jason Beshta here in just a few.
Alrighty, boys. March 3rd.
Make you glad you came.
Welcome back in here to Bill George Arena for our post-game show. Get a look at some replays. Started off strong with the block by Dwayne Hart, but then as the game went by, I mean, Wayland had the advantage early, but Golden Eagles were able to go down and had a huge run. It started out 16-2 Wayland, but they were able to go down and still get the win. John Brown Golden Eagles taking the W. They defeat Wayland Baptist 72-60 with the win. John Brown 25-3 on the year, 16-2 in conference, including an undefeated 16-0 record at home in the regular season. With the loss, Wayland falls 18-10, 10-8 in conference. They still got a couple home games next week. I'm now here with the winning coach today, Coach Jason Bestia for John Brown. And Coach, what are your thoughts here after taking the win on Senior Day?
Man, what a special thing to be able to do with the seniors tonight. Love that we were able to do that. Appreciate the support out there, people coming out here for us. Great way to start the game, you know, when Dwayne's able to come out there and just make an emphatic block. I know we were all really excited for him. I think we got a little shell shock though when that happened, as if I guess that meant we win the game. And so we kind of stopped in some ways from there. And struggled that first half, but man, I'm just proud. I mean, to beat any team in this league's tough. To beat a team twice and get a sweep on them is even harder. I'm just really proud of the effort to do that tonight.
How do you feel your guys persevered? You got into a hole early after the Hart block. Wayland got on a run, but after that, it was all JBU. How do you just feel everybody went in, persevered, and put together a great team win?
Well, again, I think this goes back to we've been in this situation before this year. We've been up in games, we've been down in games, we've given up losses or given up big leads. We've come back now from some multiple big leads, and I think we were down 16-2 when we finished the half 31-18. I mean, that's a run that I have not experienced very often, where we just guarded. I think we got 21 stops out of 22 possessions defensively, and we got back to being who we were. And made a real statement, you know, that half. And I think that was the distance that we created that ended up being the difference in the game for us.
Kyrie Hutchings today, he led the way, 22 points, 7 for 12 overall, 5 for 7 from three-point range. Just talk about him, how big of a game he had today, especially on Senior Day and everything. Just how crucial was he to a win here today?
Oh, I mean, like I said, you're always excited for your seniors to do well, and to see him on Senior Day come out there when we needed it. He played more minutes than I think he has probably in any just regulation game. Led us, I believe, in minutes tonight, and was able to just be solid. I mean, just with a lot of confidence, knocking shots down, knocking them down from way back, doing some strong takes with the basketball, and I thought versus pressure, so that he was able to get to the line and finish those as well. So what a great performance for a senior out there.
And what was the mindset defensively after that early hole? I mean, JB really clamped down, forced J.J. Culver into a lot of bad spots. He only ended up finishing 7 for 18 from the field and forced a lot of guys also into some foul trouble. Just what was the mindset there and just being aggressive and staying disciplined?
Well, you know, in the first half, you know, we gave them 6 of their 18 points were in transition, and we know we got to make it a half-court game. But it was just some things we fell asleep on, just kind of like we actually did at some point in the second half late, and we fell asleep on some possessions and some responsibilities and gave them some things. We just fortunately had a bit of a cushion at that point. You know, our key with them, and it's honestly like this against a lot of teams, but we can't let them get stuff in transition. You got to make it a half-court game. We feel like we can really guard people in the half-court when we're locked into what they're trying to do. And I thought we showed that once we started making it a half-court game. We were able to get just stop after stop. And, you know, our plan was force them into tough contested shots and live with the result of that. And I thought, you know, can't worry about if they're going to hit some of those, especially early. We want to make sure that their first shots aren't easy ones, to let them get going so the tougher ones get easier. But I thought we just made them take really tough shots from there on.
How big of a win was this, especially against a team like Wayland that's probably going to Kansas City? How big was it knowing that you can overcome all the adversity here, get into those holes, but still come back and put on a very good win against a very good Wayland team and actually sweep them on the season?
Yeah, I think it just keeps building belief. And I think that's the big thing for our guys, is we keep seeing ourselves in some difficult situations throughout the year. We've had 5 overtime games. We've been down in some holes in games. We've been up, like I said, on some teams and even given up the lead and still pulled it out. And, you know, a team learns to be resilient. They learn to just really believe in those situations instead of freaking out and thinking, you know, that we've got to really worry about things. We can focus more. No, we've got to correct some things. We've got to be us, and that will be enough for us. And I think seeing ourselves be successful in these situations allows us to play with that kind of confidence, so we don't have to stress out when it happens. Just refocus instead.
John Brown will be hosting a conference tournament game here, quarterfinals on March 3rd. But first, you got a couple road games next week against two ranked teams, two very tough teams. You got Texas Wesleyan at the Sid Richardson Center in Fort Worth on Thursday. And then a week from today, you got Southwestern Assemblies of God on Saturday. Just kind of preview those games and just how crucial they are for your seeding in the conference tournament and potentially the national tournament.
Yeah, I mean, our goal is still, we're trying to get out there, and, you know, it takes MACU losing a game and us winning our games, but we're still trying to fight, number one, for a conference title. It's really odd to see ourselves play two teams that we opened conference with and now we close the regular season with for conference. And I mean, when we played each other back in November or early December, whatever it was, I mean, this is forever ago. You know, we're different teams. All the teams are going to be different than what we were then. You know, and I think all of us are better. So it's going to be some battles down there. Those teams were tough the first time at our place, and we came away with two close ones. They're both playing really well and present some tough things for us, so we've got to be on our game. I don't think we've got the luxury too many times of finding ourselves in holes like this. You know, we've got to be really solid, but both of these teams are going to be capable of putting up a lot of points, so our defense has got to be really dialed in and solid all the way through. And like I said, you can't turn the ball over and give up transition. You got to make it half-court games against them.
And lastly, going back to this game, just talk about your seniors for a second. Just talk about how big of a game is this. I mean, Kyrie Hutchings led the way, 22 points, led the team to the win. Dwayne Hart, he got a big play to start things off, a block he can take with him for the rest of his life there, knowing first play of the game, just went out there and batted it away. And just Quentin Bailey, also another really good game, managed to overcome some tough matchups against Nobles and still put up a good one. Just talk about those seniors and how big of a win this is.
Yeah, you know, again, we talk about it going into a game like this. You always want to do something special for your seniors. You want to see them recognized. You want to see them do well in a game like this. And I honestly think all three did tonight in their ways. You know, Dwayne came in and had a great block. So like you said, that's a big thing to be able to remember. Got everybody energized from there. To see Kyrie come in, and, you know, like you said, making so many shots, scoring all those points, playing the big minutes for us tonight, you know, and be able to do that in front of families they're in is a really exciting thing. In Quentin's game, I don't think it shows up on the stat sheet so much, but I thought he had a great game for us tonight. I think he didn't finish some of his inside plays that he often finishes, that just kind of rolled around the rim without going in. I thought defensively, though, he was phenomenal for us inside. And I think the exclamation point of it, I don't know, maybe even the best or one of the top couple defensive plays of our season was when he was guarding Nobles there in the second half in the post. And Nobles went at him like 3 straight times and just kept bouncing back without a foul. And we forced him into, you know, a missed shot, and we got the rebound. And I mean, those plays are just huge. And the toughness that he showed, that our seniors showed, is something that's really exciting. We really appreciate about him.
Any final thoughts here tonight, Coach, on the win?
I mean, proud of our guys. We've done something really special here at home. You know, being able to hold serve here at home all season. We've earned that right then to host another one then on top of this as we head into the first round of the conference tournament in a couple weeks. So we're excited for that. We hope people will continue to come out and support us. It's been a lot of fun seeing the community, the students, faculty, and staff really getting behind the team this year as we've had a lot of success. And we appreciate that. Hope that it'll continue.
All right, thanks, Coach. And we'll be right back to conclude the post-game show. Welcome back to Bill George here for the post-game show. Some good basketball was played here at Bill George Arena. The game you just got done watching, John Brown took the win 72-60. Got a chance to talk with Coach Besha there. A great win by him and his guys. And with that, they put themselves in even better position. Obviously, MACU, they still got to drop some more games along the way for them to compete for a #1 seed or #1 ranking, at least at the end of this season, conference regular season title. But they still got some tough games coming up. Texas Wesleyan next week and SAGU as well. That's the Wesleyan game on Thursday, SAGU a week from today. But ultimately, at the end of the day, John Brown, they come away with the win here against Wayland, put a lot of their key shooters into some bad spots, and just a great game by them. Leading the way for John Brown, Kyrie Hutchings had 22 points, 7 for 12 from the field, 5 for 7 from three-point range, also had 4 rebounds. Behind him, Luke Harper at 11. Also another really good game by Quentin Bailey, a senior on senior day, 9 points, 5 rebounds, 5 for 6 at the line. Behind him was Rokas Grabliauskas, who had 7. Denzier Carnes also had 7, 11 boards to go with it. And just a really good game as a whole. Great team win. They got into a hole early, down 16-2, but after that it was all John Brown. Look, on the Wayland side, they shot better in the second half. They had some more luck, at least offensively, but at the same time, that Gold Eagle defense was really just putting them in some bad positions. Not a whole lot of open looks, good shots, and whatsoever may be the case, Wayland just couldn't get a whole lot of momentum going. J.J. Culver did lead the way with 18 points, but only shot 7 for 18 from the field, 2 for 7 from three-point range, and he had 4 fouls for the last 10 minutes of the game. It really tied him up, had to play it more conservatively. Behind him, Jack Nobles, he had 10, but also another game that was tough sledding for him. He only shot 4 for 9 from the field, 0 for 2 from three-point range. And, I mean, you had some other guys behind him. Kafisi had 6. Behind him, Jordan Brannon had 6 as well, but really, it was all JBU. They had a great game. They shot 18 for 41 from the field, 8 for 16 from three-point range. Meanwhile, Wayland shot 23 for 59, 7 for 23. Wayland actually went out and out-rebounded the Golden Eagles 33-31, but the Golden Eagles were able to make more big plays. I mean, we had a whole lot of highlights on here just to show, and they were able to go down and get those when it mattered most. John Brown does take the win with that, 25-3 on the season, 16-2 in conference. This was their last regular season game here at Bill George. Undefeated at home. They will be hosting a quarterfinals game here a week from Tuesday on March 3rd as they get ready for that, and also potentially trying to boost their seeding for Kansas City. Right now they're number 9, the top 3 seed if the conference or the season or national tournament started. They follow my words there real quickly, but still looking to improve upon that. Wayland, meanwhile, dropping 18-10. This was a game they needed, by the way. Still kind of on the bubble, one of the last teams in right now for a NAIA tournament berth, but this one does not help things. 18-10, 10-8 in conference. They got a couple home games next week. Meanwhile, looking back at the women's game, senior day, but just not a whole lot to really look at there. Wayland did take the win by a score of 94-59. With the win, Wayland, on the season, they've only lost 2 games, only 1 in conference. That was Oklahoma City. They will rematch against them next week. It's going to be a big one there in Plainview. With the win, the number 5 ranked Wayland Baptist Flying Queens go to 26-2 on the season, 17-1 in conference, while John Brown falls to 9-18, 5-13 in conference. They have a couple games next week on the road. Same schedule, Texas Wesleyan and Sagu. Sagu being another team on the bubble for a Sooner Athletic Conference tournament berth. Right now, they're a game ahead. Not quite sure how their games ended up today, but going into today, they were 1 game ahead of John Brown. But anyway, that will do it here for our coverage. We hope you enjoyed. We will be hosting one more game here this season at Bill George. Quarterfinal a week from Tuesday, we'll be covering that. Don't know who John Brown will be playing yet. Time is also to be determined. It's going to be a fun night. We hope you enjoyed anyway, and that will conclude our coverage. For Carter Henson and Zach Wolt, I'm Maury Phillips. JBU takes the men's game 72-60, while the Wayland women take that one 94-59. We hope you everybody enjoyed, and you've been watching Golden Eagle Basketball on JBUathletics.com.